It started with the stage ideas, and then
it started with
and
the
then
arrow.
it spiraled.
The arrow and the Spyro thumbnail. That was my first bit of hand
your
drawn.
first drawing,
Yeah.
hand drawn animation.
Yeah.
It's only animation because I just took it and I moved it
I
somewhere
don't
else.
know why I always call it hand drawn when it's not.
You drew it with a mouse with your hand.
Hey, you should
Welcome
probably do some sort of introduction instead of talking about hands.
It's the big
We
craze.
are all handsome.
Wait.
Hand some of that
Anyway.
over.
My penis!
Yeah. Here we
That's
go.
where he keeps his hands.
Not the other way around.
Welcome to Haru Slutbags. How you guys doing today?
I've never met this woman.
She's above
She's canonically
us.
never had sex.
She's canonically
Or
above
no,
us.
never canonically had sex. The other way around.
She's never I think she's only canonically had sex.
I think she's non-canonically had a lot of sex.
She no. She believes sex is. She's like Dante. She believes that sex is shredding on a guitar.
Yeah, on her case of bass.
Well, technically, Dante's shredding on a woman, but should we just get
What a
right
woman.
into the topics because this one.
It's just the supplement
Yeah.
to the December one. It's just been this long since the four of us have gotten together.
Yeah, this is the first time we've looked at a Dorito bag together. So
Hey, who's that guy two to the left of me?
where's Waldo?
I can't see past Connor's schnoz.
Oh, you don't need to see me.
You did got like a.
I do
So
too.
our first topic, Chris.
This is the one that I came up with.
Yeah.
Oh, Richard,
Games-
no snacks this time.
Uh,
No, I didn't really prepare for this.
you
We're
got
all actually hungry.
nothing but you,
got
bro.
4 right in front of you, brother.
Should we enlarge? No, we can read it.
Should we enlarge? I don't think that's possible for me. I think we're at full capacity for that.
I can read. It's
None
it's
of
a-
us
it's
are
the eye
Sonic
chart.
fans, so we can't enlarge.
Richard, thanks
it.
for being an eye chart.
Thank you for being an eye chart. Thank you for being an eye chart. Anyway, games that have lost/gained their meaning.
Yeah, it's
Chris,
about
do you
time
wanna-
I high time
Do
explain
you want to
this shite.
explain what the fuck that means?
No, next topic.
Right.
So, I made notes.
First off, definition: games that have gained their meaning.
So, meaning is what makes a franchise good. Like, it's not just. Well, all right. So Sakurai calls it game.
You have a fucking document.
Well, just for everything. This is just everything.
Oh,
like-
is that everything?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
It's
got
just
one
like-
just for gaming.
No. I mean, it takes up the
It's
whole
just the
screen. I have to
definitions.
scroll.
It's just the definitions of what.
But
we're
like, you know how
talking about.
Sakurai calls like he always says game essence, and you're like, what the fuck does that mean? It's kind of essentially the same thing, but I think game essence is more like within the gameplay.
So
Yes,
not
Connor.
their
Game-
meaning.
Game essence
Hell yeah.
is literally the bread and butter of how the game is played.
Yeah, but like, what makes it fun?
Did you adjust the fucking sound like I said?
Oh
We're out of
no!
the sync.
Sharky, can you hit a backspace on the keyboard?
No.
Sharky, get your ass up and hit a backspace on the
You're
keyboard.
closer.
No, I am not.
Bring up the clickable keyboard.
I mean, yeah, that's honestly easier. You just have to type. Oh,
Just hit. You have to fucking do. Thank you. We're good now.
no, we're not. I don't believe you.
So
Now
yeah, I
we're-
think with like game essence is more of the gameplay, but for me, I'm like looking at it in a more broader aspect of like just overall the experience. So like kids in the general public, like they like characters. It's like, all right, you know, the Minions and Fred Flintstone, but like, what is it about the characters we like? I mean, you shouldn't like Minions and Fred Flintstone, but like, it's not just hey, I like Nier Automata because I like 2B and 9S. Like,
did you
it's
write
more just-
all this down?
no, they're bullet points.
It says. How did you know what I was gonna say?
What?
It says right here, bullet points. What?
What?
You knew exactly what I was gonna say?
You're confusing me.
Oh.
It says you're confusing me.
This is scripted.
Tristan looks over and points, reading this with his finger. What?
Why does it say I point with my dick later? Wait.
No. Wait. Later's now. It changed to now.
So what does it mean? Go again. Say
So
it
it's
again.
like, what do you like?
Just kidding.
Right.
Just kidding.
We'll get into the examples then.
I
'Cause
get
then
what you mean though.
After I do
yeah.
like my examples, I guess you guys can like bring any up. Like once you finally understand it, or it can just be a me thing. But Kingdom
Games-
Hearts.
Yes.
I know. I think I've talked about it plenty of times. But like,
What is
one,
the meaning? Skipping cutscenes?
It's not meaning. He means game essence. Game essence of Kingdom Hearts is lost.
game essence of Kingdom Hearts is
The game essence is lost, but so is like the meaning behind like why we all loved it in the first place. Like that feeling is gone.
We liked it because we fucking ignored the whole premise.
Well, the premise was never good, and as it went on,
Like
it's
having
only premise.
all of your actions be the X button and D-pad.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank. That's another one.
I think I put Ratchet. I
'Cause,
did.
like the third game, it's all just a shooter.
Yeah, like bullet sponges and stuff. Like the feeling of like knocking an enemy back, like you feel the impact of your weapons is gone. I was more
Gets
focused
rid
on
of
like
knockback, and then suddenly it's not the same anymore.
well, also the linearity of 3
One
compared to
thing.
like 1 and 2. I know you've
Yeah,
touched
it's way
on
too
that.
linear.
Yeah, 3.
Gold bolts, oh, they're right there. Well, even Secret Agent Clank, they're right out in the open. It's
One-
just how do you get
in
to it?
Ratchets 1 and 2, there was the thing where every single stage had separate paths. That just starting the stage, you already had choices. Whereas later Ratchet games, including the newest one, it's very much like, there's your path, go that way. So it's even though it's like not much, it was nice to make the world feel a little bigger than it actually was by having 3 separate things you can do.
Mhm.
I would say God of War would be the one I would think of on this list.
It's changed its essence
did
because the
not-
new ones are good.
See, that's why like there's gain and loss their meaning. So I guess in that case, like it loses one meaning to gain something greater.
Right.
And that's fine. Like that's a series evolving with the times.
Exactly. I think it's a good change that they did.
I just put them all just in a like not these are the ones that lost. It's just kind of both. So like Final Fantasy, I feel like has lost its meaning.
I mean,
It's
after the
barely
first
like a
one, it was
fantasy.
the
After the
final one.
After the 10th one, it just kind of.
Yeah, that's when after 9's when the creator left. So I feel like that's when it like really kind of took a nosedive.
Well, even 10 was okay though.
Yeah, 10 was like the rest of the team I think was kind of still there. They knew it's like when Walt Disney died. Like the films that came out after people called the Dark Age, but they're still good. I think it wasn't until way later after all those people were gone
Yeah.
when it started to get worse. The Renaissance is like a rekindled interest in it.
Like
And then just kind of after that, it's like
I've seen that Final Fantasy 16 supposedly exists, right?
yeah.
Haven't seen a single thing about it.
Yeah, it came out it's out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's probably already getting shit ton of DLC. But, like,
haven't heard
Resident
a
Evil.
single thing about it, haven't
It
seen
was-
a single person play it.
I've seen a lot about 15 though when it came out.
Resident
Nothing
Evil,
about
Change, you can't stop it.
Resident Evil.
Yeah,
in
like you
general.
have to you can't just do the same shit every time, then you're just Dragon Quest.
Or Frogger.
No, Frogger gets fucking crazy on the fucking-
Frogger's been crazy.
Frogger does stupid shit, and they usually just keep the same arcade style. That's why I like the one that I like, because it branched out and tried something new, but everybody hates it.
And it
And
failed.
then you hate
Why is
the
Richard
one.
telling me to change? Do I look bad?
Yes.
Do I need different
But
clothes?
like 7 Remake versus 7, I think is like the basic example of just like it's just a button masher. Air combat sucks when the Kingdom Hearts 2 combat guy made it, and it lacks pretty much everything that made the original good.
Well,
It's just like a shell of the original, and they just
also,
padded it out.
it's not fucking Final Fantasy 7. It's Final Fantasy fan fiction.
Yeah, it's fanfic, what if scenarios of the beginning of the game, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's like, but what if we took the whole thing of this single game has multiple discs, and we take this single game and multiple discs and sell them separately?
And then made each of those separate things multiple discs. But like I saw the state of
There
play
are
for
multiple
Rebirth.
discs on top of that?
Well, the
Yeah.
original didn't. No, it had an install disc and then a game disc.
And
This
then-
new one, they're advertising it as multiple discs. But like, I watched the state of play of Rebirth, and I thought it looked horrible. At first, I'm like, you know, it's nice that they have a little mode where it's like the original PS1 models, like fighting. But then I see Cloud riding around on a Segway, and then now they have dialogue trees. So like, Tifa will ask you something, you give her like one response, and it says Tifa will remember that.
Yeah,
Legit.
when it says
Isn't
Tifa
it-
will remember that, Chris is like, I'm triggered.
And they
Isn't
even like
that- hold on, isn't that literally just for one event where you go on a date? That's
No,
all
they-
that
they-
counts
they-
up to see who goes on that.
well, now
date
they
with you.
fleshed it out to the whole game, and now you can go on a date with everybody. Because
That's-
originally it was just the girls and Barrett, and it was an invisible value where they do like I think they turn it into like Aerith's favor or Tifa's favor. Yuffie and Barrett are much harder to get. Barrett being the hardest. Like, so depending on what you just say to certain people will affect the value, and the game doesn't tell you, so it feels more real.
I assume
like,
that's
you
in
don't
the
know.
casino area.
Yeah,
When
the
you go
gold
on that
saucer.
one date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they knock on
Okay,
your
yeah,
door.
yeah, yeah.
Now they make a whole thing out of it, and you can go on a date with Kate Sith.
Richard said, "You look great, Con, but you look really warm. Take it off slowly."
Yeah, unveil the Snoop.
That is just not.
But I don't want to dwell on
take
Final
off your
Fantasy too long. You get the
sleeves.
point. Fire Emblem, I feel like it gained and lost its meaning. Like there was a peak to the series, and it's past it, unfortunately.
Okay,
Yeah.
if your peak is still below ground, it ain't worth it.
You haven't seen what it's made of.
There is just Ike, and everything else is worthless.
Actually, Ice games aren't that.
They don't look good. I'll give them a shot, but like
Everybody
they
likes
brought
the
like
GameCube
angels
ones.
and shit into it.
Everybody likes the GameCube ones.
No, you're saying
The
the
GameCube
the
won.
GameCube
The other one's on
one
Wii.
and like the Wii one, but I'm just talking about Ike character design. Nothing else about the game.
Character design is like the one thing that's kind of always been strong. I don't know about Engage though, but like
No, it
Yeah, I
hasn't
don't
been
think-
strong. It has been. How many
Chris.
people do you think you can convince someone that's Marth?
I'm saying Engage, like yeah, no.
Colgate.
Like the
Colgate?
other characters too.
Oh.
Like I don't know.
So brushing my teeth.
Yeah.
How many characters can you fit in like a tier list of every Fire Emblem character? How many could you fit in looks like Marth?
Yeah, a lot. Part of it too is like the Pokemon syndrome where everyone has to fulfill a role. Like you have your red and green Cavaliers, you have your armored units, you have your dragon with the green hair. Like, yeah,
I
and then
hate-
games sometimes like to
And-
mix it up.
Essentially, you'll be using the same fucking team through all of them.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country doesn't deserve to be on this list.
No,
It's
I put
gained
some,
its meaning.
no. That's for gained its meaning. See, it's just kind of like a mix of
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
So
Because,
so
like, the
all right,
ones
Fire
that
Emblem.
were on,
So
like-
Fire Emblem, it's like it started out shit. I think it got better with each installment, and then now it's really just with like Engage, where it just took a nosedive. Three Houses, like
not.
Three Houses, I think is like it started to lose some of its meaning. It tried to copy Persona,
It
or just
also-
that whole like
it did
calendar-based game, and there's very little Fire Emblem in it.
It did things very differently, I think. It did some things very well, but
I love the
Wasn't
characters and I love
Fire
the
Emblem.
story, but there's just way too much padding, and the animations are horrible. Like the game is probably the ugliest looking Fire Emblem, except Engage because it runs on Unity.
don't say that in front of him.
What
He's
are you
the
upset
ugliest looking motherfucker on this planet.
He hasn't blinked this whole time.
I got him.
But
I
yeah,
will win.
so yeah, I put Donkey Kong on here because Country is where Donkey Kong gained his meaning.
Yeah, Country is really good. Also, the ones that I think the one that got ported to 3DS was pretty good.
Fuck.
Like
The
the one
Game
that
Boy
came out on Wii U and got ported
Oh.
to 3DS.
Oh, Tropical Freeze.
Yeah.
I played so Returns. I feel like I think after Rare, Donkey Kong lost its meaning because that's where like Jungle Beat, Barrel Blast, and all those kind of games came out.
Mm.
Not I haven't played them, but when I see, was it Kung Fu Kong or something? Karate Kong.
I don't know.
Like, 'cause he's a spirit, I think in Smash, or like trophies and shit. But Karate Kong.
I don't know.
But like, I guess there was nothing wrong with the original formula of Donkey Kong. There's just not much you can do with it, so that's why Rare like took it in and like made Donkey Kong his own thing and broke off from Mario.
Miyamoto said it's ugly, and I think I'm inclined to agree with the man that's made no bad choices.
I just
Are you
want to
sure?
point out that they could picture Donkey Kong dancing.
Yep. I mean, he does.
Donkey Kong.
In his intro of his game, he's dancing.
Yeah, he's going.
Anyway, Pokemon. Anyway, Frogger.
So Pokemon isn't lost its meaning. I think it started with very.
It's gotten
little,
so stale, and
but
they
it's
don't know
the
how to
same-
evolve.
It's the same thing every single time.
Well,
It
here's the
peaked,
thing:
and
we're
it's
not
not
even
that
at
it
the part
decreased.
of we're not even at the point of like, oh, the gameplay's staling out. We're at the point of oh, the gameplay, the game, 15 frames.
Oh.
I guess, like, in terms of lost its meaning, it's like
The hardest thing about that, though, is the animations have just not been
They've
there.
been getting
it's like Three
rid
Houses
of,
where they just got worse.
Well, they're getting rid of the animations and how many Pokemon are in the game.
yeah.
Like the fact
Totally
that Pokemon
unnecessary,
games
like-
are going incompatible with certain Pokemon moving forward instead of backward is ridiculous.
You know what would be a smart thing for them to do? Release a
Develop
new
their
game.
game and release it.
Release a new game. They can even add more Pokemon if they wanted to. Not that they need to because there's already a fuck ton. Just go back to pixelated.
It would look
It's
better.
so simple.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
And they'll
I
still
would buy
find
that.
out a way to fuck it up.
They would.
They can do like interesting stuff. Like they can, I don't know, maybe they do what they did with.
Just release a mystery dungeon
Evelyn?
game. Just
I was
like
gonna
one of the
say-
ones you already
I want to say
made.
Like an
Markiplier.
HD2.
Call it new,
I
and
mean-
everyone will like it.
You know the RPG where you play as a bunch of different, not Live a Live, where you play as a bunch of different people in
Octopath?
Octopath.
Yeah.
They could do something similar with that in the
Yeah.
Pokemon world.
Like
It's-
anything innovative, which they really haven't been doing. They're
I
like,
mean-
it just seems so far behind, or they just don't understand what gaming has become. Like, they don't know how to evolve with it.
Richard said,
I-
hopefully Pal World has pushed them to be better.
Pal
think
World
enough-
isn't Pokemon. Pal World is Arc. Shut up.
No, but
That's what
Pokemon,
people want.
are looking at it and are now really criticizing
Taking notes from it.
Pokemon because they're just like, again, the Iron Man clip where they like, they made this with no money in a cave.
They like randomly decide to switch engines because one person knew how to do Unreal better, and so he taught all of them how to do it within like a week, and that's how they made the game.
Asgard.
That might be a different story. I don't know if that's Pal World.
Well, no, that is
What
Pal
was that?
World.
Well,
However,
Pal World's
the
something
thing
we couldn't
with
have
Pal
talked about
World
last podcast.
is that Pal World
Yeah.
is still a bad game because it's still Arc. As much as it is Arc but different, that game's not good. Having friends is good. You're all just delusional.
We don't play it.
Yes,
Who do you mean you all?
For you?
everyone.
Your stepdad or our stepdad who plays it?
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, this fucking
But
sucks.
he loves it.
That's
Yeah,
art
'cause he-
for you.
I mean,
He
hey,
puts on bad movies to laugh at him.
yeah, sometimes you just want to eat some garbage.
It makes the good food taste better.
Yeah.
Food that smiles back. Wait.
That was just none of us.
But like,
Close.
I guess for
That
Po-
was not Domino's. That's fucking.
The food that
that's
smiles
fucking-
back.
That's
Domino's.
goldfish.
Oh, I was gonna say because that's Domino's when you
No,
raise
he
the
doesn't!
pepperonis in a smiley face.
The snack that
He
smiles
said
back.
that's not-
Domino's.
That's not even close.
Is this what it feels like to be old?
I swear to God, he went.
No,
"Nah,
if you were old,
that's
you'd be-
Domino's.
If you were old, you'd be so happy and enthralled with the fact that you bought a fridge.
Yeah.
Like you.
And he's like, knock knock, who's there? The light.
Chris doesn't know
Everything
what
the
you're
light
talking
touches
about.
is my food.
Everything the light touches.
I can't wait to bring that
Sorry.
approach to dinner.
Sorry, I just clapped right by the. It's gonna be like.
If you clap
just like-
any louder, the lights are gonna turn on. All right, what's next?
Well, I guess for Pokemon, it's like Pokemania. Like, it never got better than that. And Connor, you're probably the only one who remembers.
What
it.
about Pokemon Black and White 2 Teaches Typing? Has the best music in the series, the
But just
most intense it ever gets, and it's like the brown fox.
Shit.
But like when Pokemon tried to say, "Hey, Pokemania is like back," I think around when like X and Y came out, I was like, "No, it's not."
I like
X and
Pokemon.
Y was great.
Yeah.
It was,
Pokemon
but
X
like
and
it,
Y actually did bring the genre back. It was probably the last best
Mm.
game out.
The...
Just-
What the
people
fuck
really
was
like.
that?
People are gonna be upset with you
The
because they
lim-
really like Sun and
It
Moon.
was probably the
I never
last,
played it
the
though,
best
so I,
game
can't, I don't have an
out.
opinion really.
I know it's like,
Because-
I guess it's like how Donkey Kong Country 1 was like they say is the best one because you went from no Donkey Kong Country to that. Like the leap to 2 and 3 weren't as great. So it's kind of like a Pokemon, like there was nothing like it beforehand. I mean, there was like they were monster capture games, but like the fact of trading with other people, like how the creators came up with the idea because I think they were playing stuff like Dragon Quest, and they're like, "Oh, I have this really good sword that I got from an enemy drop. Oh, I wish I could have it. I wish I could just trade it to you because I have 2 of them." That was like the whole design choice of Pokemon.
Which that did like bring up a whole thing of just like connectivity between consoles in general.
Mhm.
Because like especially on Game Boy,
It was like on its way out. Like the color was almost out, and yet it like rekindled the Game Boy. Probably like
and
could have been forever. If they
that
really wanted
led
to.
to things like the fucking PSP in Japan being used a shit ton just because you had a little data connection to go play Monster Hunter on every train. Because
Yeah.
there was at least going to be 2 other people on that train playing Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about a game that sort of maintained its meaning after
Monster
the
Hunter.
first, maybe second one?
He's gonna
Sure.
say Metroid.
Metroid.
Yeah. It gained its meaning. Yeah. After like pretty
Like
much
the first one
starting
was
with Super, right?
the second one was but once
Super
Super hit,
sealed
every
the
game
deal.
beyond that has been it. the
Yeah.
other game.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, Metroid Prime 4 Fusion, fantastic. Metroid Prime 5 Dread, awesome. All three, or I said Prime 4. Metroid Prime 1, 2, 3, all great games.
There's always exceptions with this stuff, but
Metroid
yeah.
Prime Pit,
Pinball is fine.
Metroid Prime Hunt.
Those are spin-off games. That's like saying that the Mario
Hunters was
games
pretty fun.
are terrible
Federation
because
Force.
you talk about fucking the preschool ones.
Puzzle and Dragons
you hate
Mario.
Metroid Prime 3.
I love it.
Looks
No, you
away.
don't.
You think that it's not as good, but I played it recently.
No, we were playing Metroid Prime 2.
Oh, Prime?
Yeah.
Prime.
Metroid Prime 3.
Prime.
You
Say your favorite
I
we
dinosaur
were
don't
game.
talking
think
about
it's
Metroid
as-
Prime 2. We were playing Metroid Prime 2 last year. He goes, get ready for Metroid Prime 3. I'm like, why? He goes, because it's bad.
It's not like horrible, but like
It's no Metroid
it's-
Prime 2.
it kind
Metroid
of
Prime 2 has a lot of charm for me just because
Yeah.
of things like the multiplayer.
it
That
kind of spits
multiplayer
in the
shit was
face of
fun.
Metroid style games because it's very linear.
I love it.
I'm sure you will.
All right, moving on. Frogger 2, just opposed to Frogger 1. It's really just that,
Oh, just okay.
like totally
So
different.
Just,
like
just
gameplay.
destroy my. It
It's
shouldn't
just
have
a
been,
linear game.
It
like-
shouldn't have been called Frogger 2.
Yeah,
In
it
my-
wasn't. It
in-
was completely different studios making them. I think it's just because it was called Frogger 2 makes me so critical.
I like the idea of Frogger 2 being like a story thing where you're like hopping through levels that can connect between the story
Yeah,
rather than just clicking on an icon and being like, this is your stage.
Mhm.
But
Kinda what Rupee did.
it's a game about a frog hopping across places. It doesn't need to be that deep.
yeah.
You gotta stop that
games
crocodile.
later games get fucking weird though.
Mm,
Like Xbox era,
yeah.
it's like fucking strange.
Wearing a shirt and shit.
Frogger
Yeah.
Unite.
I didn't really need to be on the list, but I'm Jamer Lammy. I just feel like compared to Parappa's 1 and 2, like none of the songs hit.
Well, yeah, because it's not Parappa.
Yeah, and like you can tell it was like a Parappa game, like just changed to Lammy. Because why are they all rapping and then Lammy copies it with a guitar? It just like it doesn't.
Also, Parappa
Feel
has
right,
a
like-
version of every single song in his own style.
Yeah.
But he's
So it should have just been
compressed.
that. Like get Lammy out.
I gotta ask what the fuck they were on when they made that game though.
Yeah,
Because
it's just like weird. Like
But
it's
did
not
you
even like
want
enjoyable.
those tracks to be Parappa 3?
So in the original version, she gets really fat,
Mhm.
and they're just like she ends up in a pregnancy center. And the second song in the game is about her like
Taking care of a baby,
like
trying to put the baby
trying
to
to
sleep.
put a baby to sleep because they think she's a pregnant teenager. They even like bring attention to the fact that she's young, and I'm just like, that's really strange. In the
Mhm.
Japanese version,
And then
she
PJ
dies.
fucking kills her!
Yeah. In the Japanese version, she dies and ends up in hell. And like their depiction of hell, we didn't get it in our stream because we played the American
Yeah.
version where she gets flung to an
Their,
island.
Yeah.
their depiction of hell is an island.
Their depiction of hell is like actually, if you've seen the cutscenes, like a little creepy.
Mhm.
Like red sky, like there's things waving. It's like the Return the Slap guy from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
Like it's just fucking weird, man.
Which
I just-
I think because they wanted to go so weird with it, we're like, yeah, let's maybe not have Parappa in the front.
That might be why, because
Mhm.
they just got so strange with everything that they
Yeah,
were
it
just
could
like
be.
maybe just put a different character.
Yeah,
I
I,
think it's just
don't
all
know
the-
how we're gonna fit in Parappa getting pregnant into the game.
I just think like all the characters and all the songs just are nothing compared to anything in like 1 and 2.
The best part about the game is learning that the chop down the wood guy is the mumble rapper in the Shadow songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that Parappa is the Knuckles rapper. Not Hunted P, but the SA1.
Oh,
Here I come.
here I come, right on the carpet.
Grouse.
But that's it. Resident Evil I put because it kind of lost its meaning and then gained a new one. Like not at the same
Well,
time.
no, Resident Evil like stopped being Resident Evil. It's like fucking Capcom's awesome. I just instead of moving this boulder, I just started punching it for fun, and it worked out.
It kind of just went like all over the place. Like it kind of maintained a meaning. Like 1 through 3 in Code Veronica, it's like the same kind of thing. They had to change it by that point. Like,
And
it
then,
was
like,
getting repetitive.
4, it got to the
4,
point
it's like
of
its own
like
thing,
we're
like-
thinking about making the game fun.
Yeah, it's
so
like
we're
it's
gonna
more
add
action-oriented.
mechanics that let you do things for fun.
I've never had like a kind of fun like I did with Resi 4.
Resi
But then
4
5
a
is like where it
special
started to
kind of
dip.
fun.
Like 5 is
5,
arguable.
6 are just like, hey, you're working together now, but also thematically and tonality wise, it's just, we're Capcom, baby. Let's do some fuck shit. Who's the fuck is this Albert guy?
Yeah,
But people like everyone hates 6. Like I haven't heard a single good thing about
Well,
it.
yeah, that's because you have to depend on
a
others.
good number.
You have to be like, Sheva, come on.
Well, that's 5.
That 5 and 6 are both like that.
Well, 6 is not full multiplayer, so like sometimes
It juggles 3 main characters,
Yeah.
like 3 different things going on.
So
rather than,
one
like,
of them
being
is
together.
fighting the normal zombies, one of them is fighting the more sadler like zombies, and one is fighting brand new type of zombies. So
I
it's
thought
like
you were gonna
they're
say
trying to
Brandon
mix-
Yates.
One is fighting Brandon Yates, and he's putting up a fight. Don't let Yatesy have the T-virus.
Chris Redfield versus Brandon Yates. Let's go.
What's next?
And then 7 and onward, it's like a new kind of like survival horror.
Which
Yeah, and
7,
But we're in the age of
7
remakes,
and
too.
8, I'm like willing to start the series with and like play that and stream it because it's just so much more doable than like 1, 2, 3 style of just displaying the game, camera and controls.
That's more of like my type of thing.
I actually beat 7 like last year, like for the first time, and
Yeah.
I was putting it off because I was like, this is too new and weird. But
Glad they
I
switched
actually
it up
really
after
liked it.
6. Being in first person paid off.
Yeah, it was a great Silent
It's
Hill
kind of
game.
like every 3 games they switch the perspective up, which I do enjoy.
7 is good, but 8, I think 8 is really good. It takes what I liked about 7 and what I
Tits.
liked about Resident Evil 4 and kind of
Also
combine
tits.
them.
Underage hits. Sorry.
Ray traced it. All right, what's next?
You can see when she gets warm because
Yeah,
the
I guess
sweat
that's about
glistens
it.
off her.
A lot of the Resi spin-offs were weird and bad. And like, why did they have to make movies and shows?
With that really bad actress that Dad defends for some reason. I fucking hate that lady.
Oh
um,
yeah,
Hate her so
I
much.
like
Next.
the first movie though. Is so good. It's very close to the original like game,
Late.
This
Laser
is
run.
you,
but
Connor.
not.
You're huffing up some copium right now. You gotta calm it down.
That was not coping. That was your hand.
That's
huh?
100%.
That's
What's
not
next?
copium, that's an
that,
opinion.
that was Copeland because I'm about to talk about Spyro 2.
Oh.
Spyro 2 and onward. To me, I just like 1. Everyone else disagrees because they like fetch quests and mini games. But there's just like a groove to playing Spyro 1. It's just like it is an easy game. It should be like a kid's first like collectathon.
I
You just
like
like blast through the levels and just
I like Spyro 1. I
like
also
tear
think-
Nork a new one and then you're done.
I think Spyro 1 has a bit of a mysticism about it. Like it's if you were a kid playing it, that you would be like, whoa.
I don't like Spyro 1.
You
I
know.
didn't play it as a kid.
Mm.
For me, it was just like, hey, here's a lot of things where it's
Those
just
shirts
like,
put them there.
go get them.
I like Spyro 3 though for different reasons because it just feels more open of an experience.
2 was just way too like mini game heavy, and a lot of it was just do it again.
Mhm.
And just that momentum of Spyro like blasting through levels is now screeched to a halt when everyone has to talk to you every 2 seconds. And it's never interesting dialogue. They copy paste the models for the characters. I mean, the dragons are copy pasted too,
Mhm.
but they had like interesting things to say. Like sometimes it's just thank you for releasing me. Other times it was like silly, and that's how you get your tutorials as a reward. Like they're your collectible. Well, in 2 and 3, there's just so much dialogue of like starting quests and finishing them.
I mean,
And
the
your
worst
collectible
part,
is just a little object or a baby dragon that like has a whatever animation. So
the worst part of Spyro 3 is the mini games. Like
3, I honestly think like the playable characters make the game worse too. They all play worse than Spyro. If
yeah.
they played fine, then
Tristan's
sure.
made like 7 different David Cage faces.
And I think
So
the
the-
worst
the
part is
bit-
the skateboarding.
The bit I was trying to do is I was good for the whole time they were explaining the Spyro 2 thing. I was gonna keep shaking my head back and forth, no.
Yeah, but
And,
you were
and I
like,
was waiting for someone to like bring it up, like, why are you shaking your head? No, or, like, do you disagree?
like you
No, I
were.
completely understand.
No, I thought you were
I
doing
agree.
like the LA Noir is just like, you have to pick out if he's lying, and he's just like,
Yeah. Nice poker face. But I guess it was just what I liked about 1, just never carried over. Even like Stuart Copeland's music, like totally different approach and just very annoying use of samples.
And then he also got a guest person for 3.
Yeah, and then 4 he was just kind of like supervising, and then he said that this isn't
He,
Spyro
he
anymore.
wasn't
and then he left.
even he wasn't even supervising. He would just
Touch them
do
up. Right?
last minute touch ups and add Spyro instruments to songs, and that was it.
But by 4, it was like it's too far gone.
Yeah.
So it's probably at least kind of understood and just remade the first 3, and then that's it.
I gotta ask about Jack and Dexter. 'cause
It's just 2 and onward of more so like what you
2
loved about
and
1.
Onward are completely different games.
They are, but that's kind of the thing. It's like it changed its meaning to something else. But I think more where Lost was X and Lost Frontier. That's just done
I
by
don't
that
know
Those
if
are
you
point.
would
side
count.
games.
I was gonna say I don't know if you would count Lost Frontier just because it's not even.
That's
made by...
like
Mm.
Gem Fighters is a horrible Street
It was,
Fighter.
I don't know. It's kind of like made as like the next game. Like it
Street
takes
Fighter's
place
just
after
better
all
than
of
Street
them.
Fighter.
Yeah, well, it was always meant to be like a side story. Like, remember 3
Fight me
left off with
in
like the
Jump Fighter.
precursor shit, but it's not even
I got
brought
this.
up.
I'm gonna
in
pick
one.
Dexter has the
Dan,
pants.
who's actually Akuma.
Oh, that's true.
Yes,
But like X does continue after 3.
canonically.
Yeah, but
But like it,
that game sucks though.
yeah,
that
it's
game's
just
like
horrible.
that game is an insult to gaming. I think.
Mhm.
Like,
I feel like the Jack games do run into the Crash Bandicoot problem, where it's just like they're too tight with how they need things to be done. Like Jack 2 is pretty much hard
Do
for
it
no
perfect or you're
reason
doing it over.
because there's not enough of a breath between things to get things right.
Yeah.
it's really.
And it's not even like I'm going out of my way to do hard challenges. It's just no, cars are like that.
I think that's like the worst like the worst parts of 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But it's more like just the discovery of like going to places in 1 just doesn't feel the same in 2 and 3. Like I'm fine with the change of aesthetic and the change of tone, but like that feeling of exploration in the world and like talking like I mean I think the characters are pretty strong in 2 and 3. I think yeah, it's just more of like exploring the worlds is Lost because it's really just the same areas you're going back and forth through. And I wish if they just kept like that exploration but kept like the setting of 2 and 3, it would have been better. And then also just the
You can't
total
do a lot with the like setting of 2 and 3. Like their
Mhm.
cities aren't that great.
I agree.
I wonder if it would have been cool to like you're restricted to only like small parts of the city and you like gain access to them as it goes on.
I think I agree with Insomniac's decision to drop Spyro though, saying that he's just not agile enough of a character
Yeah.
to do.
It
Yeah,
wasn't
in his
meant to be
old
this
age.
long series.
He's getting old.
Because once he
he
started
would
putting
just,
shit in his mouth and spitting it, I'm like, we're done here.
He was just turning into Sonic. The
Yeah.
only other
Well-
way forward would be increase his speed. You know?
That and like he became Banjo because I feel like Banjo Kazooie and Spyro came out the same year. They saw that Banjo is very like talk to NPCs and do all these little favors for them, and they integrated that into Spyro, but that's not what he was ever about.
And then in
Banjo is a slow
Banjo-Kazooie,
game. You
They
expect
saw that
out of it.
Spyro used to drive around a lot and create his own cars, and then they decided, that would be the best option.
So what was I gonna say?
Or like you say, like Jack, it wouldn't have been as harsh of a shift if Jack 1 had some sort of gun mechanic.
Yeah, even if it was like a toy.
I don't think.
I think he should have
having
been-
Jack 1 have guns. is
No,
the
no.
I think he
like-
should have been able to
I
shoot
think-
Eco like from his hands or something
I
all the
think-
time. All the time, like
I think the
Working into the
real
gameplay.
thing is that the guns should have been more based off of like using eco and having stuff that weren't guns that used eco.
yeah, maybe not have the guns at
Yeah,
all.
I always thought they should have been gadgets instead of just weapons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're the Eco with the bullets, but he's straight up just using guns. It's the
Yeah,
same
one is
gun
a
that he's just
shotgun,
switching
one
out
is
like
just
the
a-
mods for. But
One's just a rifle, one's just a shotgun, one's a grenade launcher.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if it uses,
I wonder if they.
in air quotes, in the blanket uses.
I wonder if it was like what I just said about Spyro and Banjo. Do you think they saw Ratchet 1 and they're like, we got to do that too,
Do you think they saw, hey Jack, stop putting that eco in your fucking mouth?
and put it in this gun?
Jack 1, if you look at some of the interviews, you can tell that it was a game they were trying to appeal to a lot of different demographics all at once, but they really ended up Jason Rubin and Andy Gavin really hated that after the fact because they were like, there's no focus.
Yeah.
Mm.
They think the game is a very unfocused game and it tries to appeal to too many things, and so they felt it never worked, and that's why Jack 2 goes in a completely other direction. They're like, we need to have something to focus on, and that was the GTA style, like going through the town and
Which
everything.
it didn't do well.
No.
It's debatable because I don't like it, but I know a lot of people that do. But I think they didn't go hard enough with it in a way. Like I think they tried to make it too much like a mix of Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
and Jack and
It would have
Dexter
been
and not
nice
just-
if they had a collectible, like have the power cells come
Yeah.
back as like, let's keep a tally of what we're doing and kind of like
Well, that's-
segregate it to
that's
areas
what
like
the
in one.
orbs are. They changed the normal
So-
basic collectible to like the,
Until
like,
Jak X.
secret collectible.
But those are secret. But those are like little
Okay,
hidden
are we
things.
really gonna say the racing game changes the mechanics of Jak 2?
So it changes the lore. So
Yeah.
essentially, precursor orbs are said to be super rare
in 2 and
collectibles
3's
in
time.
2 and 3. That's why you can barely find any. But you're getting millions in
Yeah.
Jak X.
Oh,
They
it
just-
cost
Yeah.
10,000 to upgrade my
yeah,
engine.
seriously, it's like
They just didn't know what
they
they were
just-
doing.
that was
They
just
lost their
sort of
meaning.
like a bad decision on their part,
Yeah.
but also fuck modeling shit.
I mean, they could have just made any other little generic model for money.
Yeah, but fuck modeling shit.
They literally created their own language that they use in every Jak game.
Yeah, but that wasn't for the development of X. X was thrown together in like a minute.
No, it wasn't. X and
Look at it.
X and Deadlock
Look at
were
it.
made at the exact same times.
And they fucking loved working.
There
on
was a
Deadlock,
longer-
cheating on
there was
X.
a longer wait between Jak 3 and X than there was between Jak 2 and 3.
Okay,
They
but
were
you
all
don't
in the
just
same
immediately
studio, too.
start the racing game spin-off after you hit release on 3.
They had to make so much shit from scratch. They didn't steal their fucking racing design from another game.
Yeah, however, they spent a lot more time being like, ah yes, the actual racing design and mechanics, then let's go model a new car.
Have you played the game? Because they definitely did not put that much effort into
Oh.
thinking about the racing design and
Should we rename
mechanics.
this the Jak
I mean,
X
there's
argument?
like 5 different game modes.
We're gonna rename this.
And
to
they
Connor
all
Sleeps
suck.
Now.
The
Yeah,
game controls like a
because
cream
they're-
pie that you're trying to hide down the street with no panties.
Yeah, because the game wasn't developed for that long. It's clearly that they didn't fucking have time to care about
They
it.
also didn't have time to bug test it because of the memory card issue.
Fight. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I guess it just wouldn't have been as harsh of a transition if they like added more of the shooting mechanics into 1 and then added the collectibles and exploration from 1 into 2 and 3.
Yeah, 'cause
Talk
there's, like,
about,
no exploration.
Another game that lost its meaning is Fulukuli.
Well, I mean the fourth shit. Well, no, 2 sucked. 3 was like it did its own thing. 4, I don't even know anymore.
4 is the haru.
Anyway.
What's next on the list?
Ratchet, more so just in.
Gameplay.
I mean, the gameplay has kind of been generally the same, unless it's a
The
spin-off.
problem is that the gameplay is the same. However, they got rid of basic things to just had to do with your freedom of how you play.
Yeah, it just became linear and more of just like a straight gun combat experience.
The biggest
Yeah.
problem is what's on the cover of Tools of Destruction.
No
Todd.
tools, no destruction.
Oh, this Ratchet facing away and Clank. Just
No, I'll show you. It's either on the case or it's.
the Pixar. Oh yeah.
yeah.
So on the back of Tools of Destruction, which is the first PS3 game, they're like, we have brought the Pixar experience
that
to,
was their vision.
like PlayStation. So that's when like really the story and the writing took a nosedive for the remainder of like the series, because like it used to be fun. Like 1 was the best. 2 and 3 and like Deadlocked are more just silly jokes. It basically becomes a Fox show.
You don't get lines like it was mating season. How was I supposed to know she was your sister? Like you don't get lines like that anymore.
But no, we experienced the worst
Sup?
thing in gaming history.
How's it going?
Hey, Hotshot.
I
We
have
experienced the worst thing in gaming history the last Secret Agent Clank stream we did. So
Oh,
Quark is completely
God.
irrelevant to the plot. It's called Secret Agent Clank. You play as Ratchet for like a third of the game. You play as Quark for a third of the game. Quark is just going on missions, telling some news reporter of what the things he's done, and then you play those made up stories. And one of them, he's up on stage singing the entire level as you just kill enemies.
I was raging. I was just.
It
Like,
was
this is-
I don't remember. It was an actual like opera song that he's like covering, but putting stupid lyrics to. And I'm like, this is where the him narrating in the remake started.
It was probably the most insulted as a gamer I've ever felt.
You felt like a loser.
Because
It wasn't
he's
even the
just-
gameplay. It was just that, or the fact that you died and had to like do it over too. I think
I was going to shoot my own cranium.
it's just like the writing was horrible, at least especially there. But like overall, it's just Ratchet taking a serious turn just doesn't work. And they tried to make it this whole emotional adventure and stuff. You can have that emotion. 1 has the most emotional thing with that. I hope I made you proud.
You already have.
Like that's perfect, and that's the best it ever got. And like everything that's trying to be serious doesn't hold a candle to that.
I just said, how is everyone? We're all doing good.
It's like they knew how to strike that
Don't try
balance
to
of
get
like,
my.
and like they developed Ratchet and Clank so well in the first game, but then after they developed as friends, like there's really nothing to do after. That's the thing.
They had to switch his personality because people didn't like how he acted in Ratchet 1.
They didn't like how Spyro acted in Spyro 1, and then he became a vegetable. Just like
He was kind of stuck up in the first game.
That was what I liked.
yeah.
about him.
It was the 2000s. It was like angsty time. It
It
was.
was
should
like
be
classic
like
buddy
that.
cop stuff.
But
Yeah.
also, like, playing a game where your main character that you're forced to stick with fucking sucks, where you're just like an asshole the entire time.
It's not like
hurts,
that-
as we're experiencing with Yik.
But there's a difference between
Yick
Alex being like, you look vaguely ethnic, and Ratchet just being like, this guy wants to blow up my home, I'm gonna blow him up first. Like,
Or the hang on, let's see what he's got.
oh yeah, he was like, please don't harm me. He's like, Clake's like, I'm sorry, sir. He is, no. What do you got?
Like it's funny kind of dickhead.
Yeah.
Like you need
Yeah.
Unlike Alex, who has a whole like inner monologue with 7 other versions of himself being like, "Hey man, you're being a dick. Apologize." Just a jump cut to him literally telling the guy to fuck off.
opposite problem of what you're talking about is Pokemon, where they're like the rival has to be nice because
Yeah.
back then we didn't have the graphics to make characters, so we had to write them instead.
I-
now
I-
that we have graphics, we don't have to write the characters anymore.
So
That's the most shameful thing I've ever heard.
I don't know what game that was specifically written
It was-
for,
it
but
was
I think
Let's
it's
Go.
for Hey You. Yeah,
It was Let's Go with the new
because
rival.
when I was playing Let's Go Eevee, I was just I thought to myself when I was recording footage for it, I thought to myself, this guy's a fucking pussy. Like,
Which that started in Sun and Moon with How and then Hop.
oh yeah, who share the same animations?
And the same name and role and everything. They're
Um,
the same. It's the same bitch, except for literally Hop's story is whose dream can I steal next? I fucking suck at all of this. Wow, this whole being alive thing is not for me.
I don't know, like back to Pokemon, like Blue or Gary were like never that bad. It's like everyone has friends
They
like
just
that.
wanted you to shower. That's why he kept saying, "Smell you later."
You never once shower in
in
Red.
the
I know.
whole game,
Or go to the bathroom.
shit himself while he's smelling.
Or no,
like
Diamond and
dookie.
Pearl when they squat down, that's where they're going to the bathroom. But like,
That's not in Red and Blue.
them being like Gary kind of being that asshole rival, that's just kind of like friendly rivalry. Silver's the one that's like, I broke in and stole a Pokemon and now I'm gonna beat
Yeah,
your ass.
Silver's like the actual.
He's the
criminal.
he's the
real
angstiest
person.
a rival gets. And like it's fine to have a good rival, but the fact that they had to go on and say their stupid statement about it is what rubs me the wrong way.
And like, there's a difference between all right, you won, I'll heal your Pokemon, I guess, and all right, you won. Here, let me wait on your every fucking need. Also, do you want a tour of this town? Also, here's 5 of my gym badges.
I don't remember what game it was, but like your rival like at one point just teams up with you for a double battle against like whatever the evil team was.
It was.
That
Black-
is
Black and
Diamond and
White.
Pearl.
Yeah, it's just like
Oh, I thought it was Black and White with the guy with the glasses.
He does, but that's like twice. It happens more in Diamond and Pearl with
Mhm.
Barry.
yeah, it's just like he's not an asshole. He's just like your friend, but also wants to.
He's your friend, and he makes jokes about finding you millions of dollars. And then you meet his fucking deadbeat dad in Platinum
Those aren't jokes. You owe him millions of dollars.
until you just beat the money out of him. He's like, fine.
Just go.
I don't know how we got from Ratchet to Pokemon, but Sly 4, you know exactly.
Yeah.
The gameplay was fine. It's just the writing,
The right.
the animation,
Well,
the
that's
story.
a thing that was really hard because Sly 3 wrapped things up so well,
Yeah, it's hard to open that back up.
but it's borderline insulting after the intense decision that
Hey,
Sly
remember
had
the
to make.
movie?
The intense decision that Sly had to make to be like, listen, I need to leave this life behind. I'm looking around me, and people are literally getting hurt. And it's my fault, so I'm gonna stop this. To be like, I had an itch, and I really wanted to steal again.
It, like basically, you can take the plot
And
of
like
4.
the plot of 4 is that
Or what?
like ancestors and his like
Why sit over
book
there, John?
is disappearing.
So,
So the actual plot of it has nothing to do with Sly in the intro cutscene just being a dick again for fun.
Yeah.
Also, when you have to resort to time travel, it's kind of like,
Mm.
talking about games that have gained or lost their meaning, do you think that this has gained or lost its meaning? Smash Bros.
It's the same.
it's kind of just building on like the previous thing. Just the whole not having a
If
story mode because
Ultimate-
people are gonna spoil it was stupid.
If Ultimate didn't come out, I'd say lost.
yeah,
Smash 4.
Smash
is
4 I
really-
think is the bottom of the franchise
Yeah.
by far. Like I watched a video on like the fact that like they can trophies for spirits isn't necessarily a bad thing because the trophies sucked in Brawl and Smash 4. They literally just ripped models from other games. I mean, they did in Melee, but it was kind of charming because there were 64 models. They're like little dioramas. Or people made new models, like took NES games and made new models out of the characters. Well, so many trophies in Brawl and Smash 4 are just sprite art on a table. Some of them turn with it. Others like always face the camera, and there's just no consistency. Some have like that 3D depth to them, and there's just no rhyme or reason, and they just throw characters in, and the descriptions got really stupid. I used to sit there and read the Melee descriptions of the trophies and like hit start and change the background and see how the lighting changed them.
Melee?
Well, like Smash 4 has like Bill Trinan shit writing where it's like, this is Lucas. He's from Mother 3. In Smash, for the rest of the paragraph, tells you a single sentence about what the character is about. Yet they have 2 or 3 different trophies. Like they have alts. And the alts in Melee are where they tell you about their Smash moveset. But their main trophies are just all about them. And the trophies lost their meaning, so they just got rid of it and replaced them with
like,
spirits, which have no
Melee
descriptions.
did get a lot wrong though. Like,
But,
you
like,
got a lot of
also,
information blatantly wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know how bored you have to be checking through your Smash Bros. Trophies?
It's just something
like,
to do.
oh man, I'm waiting
So-
for my friend to come back from the bathroom.
Well, it's more just something else to do. Like, it kind of makes it like a full experience. I didn't hear it. It's more just like these are the rewards for what you got for playing the game. Like it's like a museum. Just kind of like check out what you got.
To be fair, Melee's like main thing for doing everything is telling you to go outside.
Yeah,
Melee also just had a better aesthetic.
it did. Yeah, I like its like menu layout and stuff. The whole icons just didn't work in Brawl and Smash 4, especially Smash 4.
I don't give a fuck
Um,
about trophies or spirits, to be fair. Like, they could get rid of both of them entirely.
At
I
its
wouldn't care.
core, you go pick a Smash Brothers game, you play Smash Bros.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like,
But I feel like Ultimate kind of only just had that core and not much else. It's a lot of quantity. Like in its core, yeah, you need a ton of characters, you need a ton of stages, but like it's not really much else to do. The other modes are very like just whatever.
If they had
World of Light sucked.
if they had something closer to Brawl's story
Yeah,
mode,
that was
it
like the
would have
best,
been an
the best
epic
it got. Yeah,
moment.
Okay, but like that's the
Bestsellers.
only thing that excuses Brawl of anything.
yeah.
Exactly.
It had some good newcomers, but like that's about it.
PM.
Yeah, PM. You can just mod
Honestly-
any game, Smash the
Honestly,
64 remix.
if they decided that
Also, if your
they're
argument is
never
that
gonna
a game
And the game's
is
good because
great
of the mods.
if you change literally everything about it, then the game isn't great.
True.
No, Sonic 06 is great if you buy the version that.
Yeah,
the guy-
Project 06.
Yeah.
Sonic Go Fixed.
Is that what they're calling it?
No, that's what I call it.
Oh, okay.
That's what I
Sonic
call
Go
it. Paper.
Fixed.
But I think the worst
Yeah.
part about the spirits is all it tells you is their name and the series. Except for these new ones, they're not even putting the series anymore. They gave up.
like.
But there's no,
they-
like,
if they
Little
had,
bio or anything. You don't even know where they're from. That's why we're doing the Spirit Showcase. Maybe not, but like, so I can tell you what they're about because the game doesn't know how to do that.
This Spirit Showcase, Shogi, he's been trying to do for years.
Not years.
And
I just came up with a
It's
reason.
fucking at least 10 years, right?
Since Smash Ultimate, yes.
And he finally booted it up. We were about to be ready to do it, and as soon as we booted up, a big screen came up being like, "We're adding more spirits," and he went, "Fuck you."
You can literally
They literally
just
like shadow
add-
drop them now.
You could literally just add to the title up to date for the date.
I hate to be outdated though. I just want to do it all in one go.
Easy sequels.
Well, Sakurai's coming back anyway.
Me and Tristan were just talking about the problem with easy sequels with Star Wars and shit. So I don't want to talk about easy sequels.
Yeah.
Sequels should put a lot of effort into themselves. I don't know, but
So what I'm trying to say before, right?
no.
They could not announce another character for Smash altogether if they just had DLC that tied a story together with all the characters.
It'd be nice, like a story mode DLC.
It could be a story mode DLC, and you'd have to buy a bunch of them, but like maybe it all comes together
Mm.
to be the same size as at least a.
I ain't doing all that, Chief.
You probably won't. It's not your kind
It's
of.
yeah, it's not for you.
But
I would.
I mean, could you imagine a
It'd be fun,
crossover
yeah.
game that updated its story with DLC?
All right, all right. There's 4 minutes left in the laundry. I'm just gonna let it go. Like we don't need an intermission unless you guys are really like getting tired.
Yeah, I woke up at 4 in the morning, so I'm just kind of
You're
trying
good.
to keep myself up.
oh hey, you woke up when I went to bed.
Yeah.
We have to take turns.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
exhausted.
We share one sleep schedule between us.
Yeah, Sly 4 is kind of
It's
self-explanatory.
really awkward. We're
Um,
both here.
Marvel vs. Capcom, I feel like it got better. 3 like
What
sacrificed
you mean
like
better than from when it was fucking Marvel superheroes?
yeah, they kept adding like more to it.
Because like Marvel 2 is where it really like gained its meaning of, oh my god, this is a fighting game you can play.
I mean, they're all like pretty good though.
There are some
They're
classic
fine
games
as
that are good.
crossover games, but like when it comes to the actual playability of fighting game,
Mhm.
2, 3 are just like right there.
They did like strip things away from 2 though. I think because they have so many characters, there's like less nuances to them.
Well, yeah, that's
Um,
because a lot of those characters are like secret characters that aren't actually supposed to be played.
But there are like certain
the
mechanics
little,
about
like the
them,
little
like
Tron Bon robot.
like a lot of
The same
specials,
thing
like
happens
like
in,
supers the characters had, like they took
The
out
same
of
thing
2
happens in
and stuff
Gundam,
like that.
Dynasty Warriors. Like, so there are some mechs that just have no supers. They just do nothing.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
those-
because they're like gun tank.
That was weird because in Dynasty Warriors Gundam 1, you can get 3 notches to your super, and depending on the notch, he does like a different thing. So he'll start with a spear, like he'll start spearing, and then right after the spear animation, he'll start whipping around a chain, and then he'll jump up and start shooting. It's like the 3 stages of the super.
And then he
But
starts
in-
doing dance moves.
And then Dynasty Warriors Gundam 2, it's just the first super from the first game, but just longer.
Yep.
So now he just does a spear for like 10 seconds instead of 3.
No, it's worse than that. He'll do it for like 20, 30 seconds. And just standing there. You're all the way halfway across the world. He's still going. Anyway,
Yeah.
what's next?
Well, like Marvel,
The supers of Dynasty Warriors Gundam have lost their meaning.
Oh no, Dynasty Warrior game changed too much. I no longer mash it down.
Did you know that the original Dynasty Warriors was a fighting game? Anyway, move on.
so with MVC, it's more like 3 did change its meaning. It is more or less the same, but the graphics, like just the style of it, are just much worse, like less appealing.
Well, for me, 3 did change. However, 3 is so much of a fucking titan on its own.
Yeah,
Like
it like
I like the
it
character
sacrificed a
choices.
lot of the characters for other ones.
Like,
so-
I like the fact that Amaterasu's there, Dante, Virgil,
Adding all like Resident Evil and DMC
you got
characters,
Chris Redfield plus Jill. That's DLC.
Yeah.
Nemesis,
Wesker, and
Blood
like,
Ray.
or, like Phoenix Wright was an awesome choice. The Marvel side I feel like was kind of weak though. They sacrificed a lot of X-Men, or like
Well,
majority of them for
because-
like MCU characters.
I mean, the only one I would really want added to Ultimate 3 is fucking Gambit. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of the others coming back. We already have fucking Wolverine.
But I like that they did
Storm.
add X-Men, like they added X-23 and Deadpool and Phoenix.
Yeah.
So it was cool. I just would have loved if they had if they kept it sprite based, so they can just use 2 as a skeleton and just keep adding more characters. Like I have 100.
That's
They added
lazy
my
and
favorite Street
Mugen.
Fighter
That's also
character.
what 2 is though, because almost every character in 2 is from another
And
fighting game.
and we went over that of like some 2 characters are incomplete because
Yeah.
they're not real
Yeah.
characters.
Like Thanos, like he's kind of low tier in Marvel 2 because in Marvel superheroes,
God,
he had, like, the
I'm
Infinity
I'm
Stones.
just thinking about that one Thanos input that takes the entire fucking screen to
Mhm.
display. Actually, I think I have it on
Um,
my phone.
So like 3 was good on its own, and I like that like it's harder to compare to 2 because it's its own thing. Like you can go back to both of those games because they're very different.
It's got my favorite Street Fighter character, Steve Viper.
Yeah.
So like,
But like the problem with
Yeah.
Smash, I'd say, is like Sakurai always wants to like outdo the previous one. He's like, you should never go back to Brawl or Smash 4. Like I would never go back to Smash 4 because Ultimate really is just a better version of it.
This.
I would go back to
Yeah.
Brawl though for the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Like Brawl has a
they
good reason to
just-
go back to it.
If they really wanted to make it so you'll never go back to Brawl, they would just have a
Yeah.
story.
Melee has the events and like the little adventure mode. Smash 64 really doesn't have much content. It's more just like targets and board the platforms
Well, it
and
was
just
the
the,
first.
But all those
novelty.
things are fun.
they are.
The purpose of the original game was to be the original game.
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
know?
you can't fault it for that.
You can't just.
It's
say
like- it's
it
like a
doesn't have
novelty.
enough. It's
Yeah.
like it was enough.
But it
Yeah.
did have fun things like board the platforms, break
Yeah.
the targets. Like that.
There's like the novelty of going back to it too. It's just like a fun, cute little game.
But also,
you kind of just
like,
play it for like a sitting, like every now and then.
Mo-
There
Most
was the
of
volleyball
those-
minigame.
most of those things were like building your fundamental controls of the game. Like here's your air control, practicing recovery. Here's your fucking zoning people out with break the targets and using all of your tools effectively.
Yeah, it taught you how to
self-avoid.
play the
Teaching you
characters.
about each one. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
You couldn't do Young Link's targets unless you knew how to wall jump. I
and,
was so stumped on that. I'm like, I'm trying to do the up B, I can't get out.
and meanwhile, Subspace Emissary doesn't really teach you anything other than a good way to unlock the characters.
Yeah, you just unlock them all that way.
Subspace, you don't need to learn anything. It's just enjoy the
That's
story.
the problem.
just
It
about-
doesn't help you learn.
Yeah, and
But
they
it's
nerf
just
all the
enjoy the
characters.
story.
They nerf every character's stats that you have to use the stickers to boost them.
Yeah.
I was always like, why is this so much slower than Melee? Like when I first played, I went straight to Subspace. I'm like, oh, because I
Yeah.
never knew that you can put stickers on.
Every character has two separate values to their character, one for subspace and one for normal fighting.
Yep. And then when you like make them
Yeah.
insane, like they're super fast, like zipping all over the screen.
Yeah, they nerf the
It's like-
characters in specifically subspace. The normal fighting is different,
Mhm.
but they make you a lot slower and weaker in subspace, so you have to use the stickers.
I think
to
everyone
make
has
up
like a
for it.
base
I did
power
not
and
know
speed
that.
and aspects, so that you just place. It's basically spirits, but you have like that circle where it's literally based on the size of the characters. So like the overpowered characters are huge, but they take up so much of that
So,
circle.
If
It was like
makes
a
you feel
neat
better,
way to
Sak-
like customize too.
Sakurai's revealing that was the only reason me and him know.
I, like,
Sakurai revealed
yeah.
it on his.
I think I
on his
kind
channel.
of knew it or like picked up on it, but yeah.
He straight up just
So
clarified.
are we saying that it's lost its meaning or gained its meaning?
We're saying it hasn't changed, and we've been talking about it for half an hour.
yeah, this
So
meaning
the
thing
whole
is going on
concept
for a
of is
while.
it gained or lost its meaning, and
Is
it hasn't
it
done either
evolved?
of those things, and it's been a half an hour.
Yep.
Sly lost its meaning, Rachel lost its meaning, Jack lost its meaning. We're just sorting out. Spiral lost its meaning.
Well, it seems like all these meanings have just changed instead of lost.
Yeah.
No, Ratchet, like it. I feel like it's worse because
You need to play the new game. That's
Mm.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
The newest one, like the direction they're going, other than the shit logo they decided to throw up onto the paper. Other than that, it's like it's a really good game.
Let's see. After MVC, it completely lost everything that was anything about it when Infinite came out. But
Infinite's
that's it.
horrible.
That's all we
Okay,
can say.
but that's like one bad egg. That's the same thing with Sly 4, where like
Yeah.
most of the series is gone until it died.
But here's
Yeah, it pretty much just killed it. Yeah.
here's the thing, Sharky. Is there anything worse than our home screen that we made for that game?
Okay, that was me intentionally fucking that up.
The Dante, the DMC Dante and Thanos in a dress.
So the next thing I put was Mario, but just the magic of Mario. I feel like the gameplay has always been tight with Mario, but like when you play something like 3D World or even like Odyssey, like it's fun and all, but like there's just something it's hard to explain. But
Well,
like
when it comes to 3D Mario, the whole thing is that it isn't tight when you're doing the things that the game wants you to. It becomes tight and cool when you start doing things the game doesn't.
yeah,
want
like
you to do.
BLJing through the level.
Yeah. Like the actual interesting stuff that's hard to do, I think, is a lot of what makes that up. Like the ridiculous distance you can cover in Odyssey with the hat jumps by timing everything right.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a casual Mario player, 64 isn't good. If you're
Yeah.
if you're not into like
I struggled when I
breaking the
first
game
played
in
it. Yeah.
some way,
If we get a version of Mario 64 where you have like actual twin stick controls for things like camera and everything, that's not limited time selling for no good goddamn reason.
now
Yeah.
I know this is a mod, so it doesn't count with what we're saying, but that online Mario 64 mod for the PC one that was made is fire.
Yep, literally just hey, do this. It took two people in a garage to figure out how a thumbstick worked, and you won't do it.
Mhm.
The closest you got was a touch screen.
They even freed up the camera. They reverse engineered it to run
Yeah.
specifically on PC, so you could like change parts of the game, like aspect ratio.
Yep.
And
You think
shit.
if like two guys can figure it out, what can a AAA company do?
Nothing apparently.
It's sad
Yeah.
because right after that they put out the really bad Ocarina of Time port on the online service.
Yeah.
That people were like that like this is just bug, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Link's Chamber had no in there. We have an updated version when we played Ocarina, but the original version of Ocarina had a shit ton of problems on the NSO, and the room where you fight Dark Link, that you did spectacularly easy when Blue Hedgehog was like, "This is really hard. You're gonna have a lot of trouble." Connor's just like, "I'm winning." But
Have
that
you
room
seen it?
originally
It's so
had
good.
it didn't render any of the fog or any of the
Yeah.
lighting or anything properly, so people
Layering
were
was
posting
all,
picture
yeah.
of it online like,
And,
what did they
like,
do?
People's games were crashing for no reason. Just
Yeah.
it was a horrible emulation, but they fixed
Meanwhile, Ocarina on 3DS. It's fucking great.
it. Majora wasn't as strong. They like
No, It's not. You know why? Because I can't exploit my bugs anymore.
Okay, well, that's a thing in Twilight Princess.
I want to exploit everyone I know,
Yeah,
including the bugs under my feet.
That's literally a woman in Twilight Princess.
Oh yeah, Agatha.
But it's not.
But it is. That's like her whole thing is that she
But
wants
she's
you to
not
go
in Twilight
collect and
Princess.
exploit. Agatha?
Yeah.
The one from Twilight Princess isn't in Twilight Princess.
she's
Hang on, let's
not.
boot up the game and figure. Let's get to the
All right,
bottom
the
of
podcast stops now. We need to get to the bottom of this.
this. So I guess
I
like
thought. Wait, no. I thought that she was invented for Hyrule Warriors.
No.
No.
She's in Twilight Princess.
You're thinking
She
of
is?
Luna or whatever her name is.
yeah, the blue-haired girl,
Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Talking about the
people
bug-
with normal human
we were
pigtails,
talking
the
about.
blonde one with the little basket.
The
and
ones that
dress.
I'm thinking of a different person. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Never
think
mind.
it's Luna and Sia.
Yeah, it's Lana.
Lana.
Lana,
Lana,
Lana
yeah.
and Sia.
They're made up.
See, Lana.
You
And
can
you
tell
can tell
they
because
don't
their
look like.
ears are wrong.
Yeah.
I was gonna say their ears aren't the pointy ears, and they don't, look like Zelda's
yeah.
characters.
But I guess like the Mario Magic thing, it's kind of like Mario games are very fine-tuned. They're always polished, but I feel like it's to a fault. Like modern Mario, I think really since like the Wii era, like since Galaxy, have been like too perfect, where there's like no little like fun things. Like you just played Mario World with art, and like it's kind of just like hard to explain why that game is special compared to something like Wonder.
Well, so it's different for me. Who it's like what iNinja was, or Custom Robo, where it was like it's a game you always played, what I always played as a kid, but you never finish. And so like sitting down and playing it and finishing it is a completely different feeling. But I can imagine people playing World for the first time nowadays and being like, it's all right.
Why do I shrink all the way to small Mario every time I get hit?
This is shortest, all right? We don't. They're saying short people are weaker, and I'm 4'5", with no eyes.
How do you know you're 4'5"?
How do I know he shrinks? I know the noises of a short man.
I just want to point out that we're an hour in and we talked about just Chris's list.
It'll move on. Mario Magic's hard to explain, so I'm gonna stop there. We're now kind of branching out from games. I'm almost done, but like to branch away, Dragon Ball, like compared to Z.
That's not a game.
It's not, but like it's
Dragon
the same
Ball
idea of
is-
something losing its meaning.
Dragon
but,
Ball
like,
is better than Z. Z is better than Super.
and,
Super is
and they're all better than GT.
All three of them are better than GT. Yeah.
Yeah,
GT's kind of fire though.
GT's
No.
fine
You
until
just
it
like
gets to
baby
the
I fell
end.
asleep watching it.
GT, I like the begin. No, actually, that's a lie.
I had to skip the beginning, one because I couldn't find the episodes online, and two, it just
I
sucked.
think Super's probably better than Z only because it has one good arc and Z has none.
What are you talking about? Base Saiyan
We
Saga.
were literally
is
talking
fine.
about it earlier today on another stream, so you can go to the Near Autonomous stream if you want to hear my rant about Dragon Ball versus Z. I think we were talking about it on the stream, but it's just kind of like the original was so nice, and Z it changed. I guess it changed the meaning, but like there's just so much they relied on filler, and like the plot becomes more brainless. It's just
Past Frieza,
anyone-
it just feels like, oh no, Frieza, but different.
yeah.
Oh no, this
yeah.
little.
It's just a different coat of paint, but it's
Sorry.
the same thing happening. Dragon Ball, like, originally I was like, this is so pointless that they have an entire arc just to grab the last Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, Goku reunites with his grandpa. It's the only time you ever see him cry besides as a baby.
Krillin died. We only have 6 of the Dragon Balls. Fuck!
Krillin died again.
That's gonna be my whole afternoon. Shit!
It's
Or
almost
just
like
it's called Dragon
we
Ball. Like, it was about finding the Dragon Balls, but then once they could teleport anywhere,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. And they would find them all in, like, an episode.
And it's
Yeah.
also like, oh, the radar made sense when it was this guides us on our journey, and now it's coordinates to teleport to.
Yeah. Or what were we saying about the world, like, of Dragon Ball? Like, back then it was a prehistoric
There's
on one side and a
literally
city on another.
a bit where it's, hey, Bulma wants to wish something with the Dragon Balls, but all the other people here want stuff granted to them. So she just fucking pays for it.
Yeah.
Because she's super rich and doesn't need them.
So I was complaining about the world of Dragon Ball and how it's like this futuristic.
Remember when there were like dragons and
That's what
dinosaurs
I
and
mean.
shit?
But in the president was a dog guy. Like there was all these different creatures on
And
Earth,
then
so it made
never
sense.
went to like into that at all. The
No.
fact that Krillin doesn't have a nose.
It ma-
Everyone else, including the fucking androids, are normal human people.
It
I
made
like
sense.
those bits in the abridged version before I cut you off again. They're like those bits in the abridged version where they're like, I don't smell anything.
it made sense with a guy with a monkey tail going around when all these creatures like existed in this world.
Like
Well,
in,
also,
in like
When the
because
episode,
Saiyans came back down, it went away. No more dinosaurs, no more animal people, none of that. They're
yeah,
just
like
gone.
think about like the
And-
order in which he meets his friends. All right, 16-year-old human, turtle, pig,
well,
dude, cat.
Turtle
old
Hermit, and
man,
then he
like-
meets someone who's his age.
A mime that's
Mm.
actually a child, but actually an adult.
He's Krillin's age, like a year older than
And
Goku.
then like it goes
Right.
to
He's
then it
Chaozu
just
is?
turns into
Chaozu is
Goku
ageless.
befriending literally everyone he tries to murder.
Yeah.
Chaozu is essentially
yeah, Goku happily kills the rubber army. He's like, no, spare Vegeta.
Yeah,
Chaozu is basically a doll because why the fuck else does he not age with everyone else?
Like maybe the reason behind that's like I'm a father now. I've given life. I don't want to. I'm done taking lives, but they never ever get into that. It's like no, I
And-
want to fight somebody. I want to put everybody at risk and possibly destroy the world again just because I want to fight somebody.
multiversally, by the way.
And Vegeta does the same shit with Perfect Cell. He lets him evolve into Perfect Cell. He's like, I want
Okay.
to fight him.
But Vegeta, you know he's a pompous ass. We've
Yeah.
seen it before.
It makes
Why
more
are they the
sense for
same
him.
character?
I
Because
really,
they're both brainless.
I really like the Team 4-Star plan to eradicate the Saiyans, or is what they call plan to eradicate Christmas. There's a line where he goes, "I have to kill you, Goku. If I don't kill you, yeah, you could spell the end of not only our universe but every other universe around us." He goes, "No, I wouldn't do that." And then the YouTube ad for the Tournament of Power like pops up right under as he's saying that.
One of it, like,
that's fun.
one of it is about like the meaning loss. It's the same as Goku and Sora are like the same. As a kid,
Sora's a fucking idiot.
but as kids, it just felt like normal for them to be like the way they are. They were like filled with wonder. They were always like happy to meet new people and explore the worlds that they're going to. Like Sora's not an adult, but like even just a year passes in 2, and he's just whiny and annoying.
But
And
he's been
3,
asleep for a year. It's not
True.
like he's a different person.
but then he like changed so much. Like even
Yeah.
though he was asleep, and like 3, like no time really passed, and just he's how do I iPhone? And like Goku's the same way. Just he's an idiot.
I
He's-
mean,
he doesn't know what a
Idiot
kiss
who's
is,
got
but he's
some.
giving Chi-Chi 2 kids.
well, also like Goku's fully uneducated. Sora isn't.
No, that's not true. Goku knows how to drive. Sora doesn't.
He doesn't even need to.
Goku is fully uneducated.
Yeah, he was just like a
Goku
country
can
boy,
transmute himself to wherever he wants in the world.
but he
and
doesn't know how to
still
find the school.
drives.
He's a fucking radish farmer. Canonically, Goku is a radish farmer.
Yeah, but he never like went to school. Unless he counted like
Uh,
Roshi's training school, but like he never sat in a classroom.
Do we
he's not-
know that Goku can read?
I don't think he can.
Have
We'd have
we
to check
seen
instances.
Goku read?
We'd have to check
Gohan
instances of like all media, but I don't
Gohan
remember off the top of my
does.
head.
Because
knows
Chi-Chi doesn't want
advanced
Gohan
math.
to turn into Goku.
Gohan
And then he
also
turns into
just
Goku,
likes
and then he
to
doesn't, and then he
study.
does, and then he doesn't.
I really hate that. I know we're going too long about Dragon Ball. I really hate that Gohan's arc every single fucking time.
Is Cell, but again.
So, like, Cell Saga happens. He's like, I don't like fighting. I hate this. I want to just be nerdy, whatever. And then they're just like, you're strong. He's like, I'm strong. Psh.
Yeah.
And then in the Tournament of Power, they're just like,
At
I
least
don't want
in,
to
like,
fight anymore. But you're
Abridged-
strong. I'm strong. And then in the superhero movie, it's like they kidnapped my daughter, but I'm being a theoretical physicist here. And he's like, but if you kidnapped your kid, he's like, but I'm strong. Like
So when they
every
advertise
fucking
it, like,
time.
At
Hey.
least with Abridged, they fully have Gohan go on a monologue about how he hates literally all of this.
hmm I would too. But like
I hate this
when-
topic. Let's go on.
when they say like, "Hey, this is Gohan's time in the spotlight for this new movie," I'm like, "That sucks."
Wow, you're telling me it's Cell again?
It literally
and
is
then,
Cell.
oh, he gets a new power-up when he sees a guy who's normally green get crushed?
Yeah. So,
Literally the same shit.
yeah. I mean,
Alright.
like, they even changed his name, Cell Most.
Next, Naruto.
Lost its meaning.
Well, it became a different series. And
Yeah,
it even
it-
changed its name to
Mm.
show that.
Well, so the
became a,
manga, it's one of those things like
Dragon Ball.
Z never changed. It's not Z in the manga. It's just Dragon Ball. They just want to differentiate the shows. Same
Yeah.
thing with Naruto. It's always called Naruto in the manga.
Nah,
but
it's
Shippuden. All right, if you're adding Boruto, then yes. But it became a thing about a guy that wanted to be the leader of a town because he's not recognized as a demon inside of him to show about aliens terraforming a planet.
Well, it
Yeah.
was basically this cursed kid whose secretly the heir to this whole thing, still wants to be the heir to this whole village. However, he wants to earn it.
I mean, it's not so much that he wants the title; it's that he wants the acknowledgement and respect.
He wants the recognition, so he's
Yeah.
gonna get the title.
Yeah, it's like the Wizard King.
Okay, let's not talk about good things in this segment.
But I think it's more of just like the fighting style of the show. Like it used to be all about the different types of ninjutsu. Everyone felt diverse. I haven't seen really anything past the first arc of Shippuden, but as I remember, in Shippuden, it just becomes Dragon Ball Z by the end. Like,
no, in
world-stopping
Shippuden,
forces.
It just becomes Uchihas versus Uchihas. And
Yeah,
here's
well-
this guy who isn't an Uchiha. Look at his arm. It's a
And that's
bunch
the
of
problem I have with
Uchihas.
like so many different media. Like look at Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. But like look at Dragon Ball. All that really matters in the end are the Saiyans. They're the only ones that are really
But what
capable of
about
standing up to the
Jiren?
villains.
He's so strong because he was sad once.
But he's like the antagonist. I guess it's more like of a pro tag thing. Like it's really just the Saiyans. And even Fire Emblem, it's really just the royal characters, like the ones with the crests, or the in Fates, it's the royal family, are like really the only ones you should be using. So it just
Yeah.
it's like, for Kingdom Hearts, it's really just like
The ones
the
with
Keyblade wielders, not the Disney characters. Fuck them.
I'm just gonna say that Donald used Zeta Flare, which is the
And
strongest
he
move in
died.
Final Fantasy.
Okay,
and then
Zeta
he died, and
Flare-
it resulted in nothing because the duck used it and not a proper
Well,
mage.
here's my thing. I saw Donald use Zeta Flare and die, right?
Yep.
I stopped paying attention for a few seconds, and I saw the exact same cutscene happen again, but Donald was okay.
Yeah.
But like he uses it and dies, but then everyone else just also dies, and then Sora just brings them all back. The end. Jiminy survived with Sora. That was like the most touching moment. But, like they 3 answered my call.
That's
Like
when we were making the jokes about like since Sora and Jimmy was alive, that he turns around, his eyes are yellow.
but like at least 3 did answer my
Yeah.
call. Like had Jiminy like be more involved. Like he's with them the entire time. But like where is he in Atlantica? Anyway, that's like
Next.
a 7-year-old video. Yeah.
Why
Disney.
the fuck is Jiminy Cricket?
We're just talking about
Hold on, why
Jiminy.
the fuck is Jiminy Cricket in Atlanta?
Yeah, where
Who
is
put
he?
him there?
And his book is getting wet.
In Georgia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why is he in Atlanta?
Next topic, fittingly, is Disney. Just the magic of Disney lost its meaning. And I said before, like when Walt Disney died, it still kind of retained, like it took on like a new meaning of
I
just
feel
whoever
like
was left.
Pixar more than Disney.
Yeah, Pixar, like it's like the what if this had feelings. Now it's just kind of like what if this human had feelings and this human and this human and this human.
I liked-
what if
Incredibles was like the one that kind of broke the mold.
What if
Of, like,
bugs
let's
can
do a
talk?
first
What if toys
human.
can talk? What if cars can talk? What if robots talk?
I liked Coco.
I haven't
Coco
like
was good.
I gave up after Good Dinosaur, rightfully so, but like
I think Coco came before Good
no, it
Dinosaur.
was way
Was
after.
it
No,
after?
it was after. Good
I don't
Dinosaur
even know what
was
Good
bad.
Dinosaur is.
We all watched it together. You blocked it out of your memory.
No, I
because it
don't-
was
He,
not
he
bad.
didn't go. He was
I
working.
wasn't there, yeah.
Um,
I think you're thinking of someone else that wasn't me.
Nah, you were there.
but yeah, I haven't seen really anything. I saw Incredibles 2. I saw Toy Story 4, and they weren't as good as their others.
I didn't like Moana.
Buzz Lightyear lost its meaning,
Moana was
definitely.
Moana's fine.
Yeah, that's not Pixar, but like, yeah, Disney lost its meaning. Like, Wreck-It Ralph. Like, Wreck-It Ralph 1 was fine, but like, Breaks the Internet was horrible.
Yeah.
It was Boomer the movie.
I enjoyed it.
But like, yeah.
Throwing points.
Disney kind of now is just we put the iPad out for our kids to watch just so we don't have to raise them. It's that material for kids.
What a controversial statement.
And it kind of feels like it feels like DreamWorks sometimes. Like Cars and Hercules were like the most DreamWorksy Disney movies of just pop culture references.
Some DreamWorks movies were really good.
They are, yeah. Like
There's a new
El Dorado.
Eldorado's great. Eldorado's
Back when they used to
top tier.
2D animate, but like
Yeah.
Yeah.
people like Shrek 1, yeah, it's fine, but like really anything after that.
A recent DreamWorks movie that is really good and has a lot of occult fame is actually the new Puss in Boots movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
heard,
that
yeah.
one's just a good movie.
It's just really good. I've seen it. It's good.
What's the next one?
Yeah, Disney, it's kind of self-explanatory. Velma. I don't have to say anything, honestly.
Okay. Then skip
It's
it.
nothing, it's just, it ain't Scooby-Doo.
I've seen it all.
Well,
Yeah.
here's my thing. Scooby-Doo, in general, when it started, it was very loose, not a lot going on to track. I think the best it gets is at Mystery Inc. Because then
People
they start
say that's, like-
introducing concepts and having most of the characters be characters.
Mhm.
That's why there was a whole like era where half of the cast wasn't there because there were characters like Fred and Daphne that just didn't have personalities.
Is it like Ruby where they had to separate the characters to make them grow?
Well, no, because they just removed them and had
Yeah.
them not be a part of the show.
And like I think with Scooby Doo, it's kind of like or any old like franchise
For
like
like
that.
the actual movies of Scooby Doo, most of them are pretty good. However, Mystery Inc. is the first time where it got to like a show where all the characters have personalities. Meanwhile, they still use Fred as like the filler of, oh yeah, he's interested in whatever the hook is. Daphne actually has a personality. Velma is gay in this one. That makes it great. She dates a girl named Hot Dog Water.
He's not kidding. Her name is actually a hot dog.
in the Velma show.
No,
Not
no,
in
no,
Velma,
no,
in Mystery Inc.
Oh.
Yeah. Scooby Doo's my jam.
But it's kind of like
In the Velma show, they just don't get any of the ideas behind it so hard that they fucking call Shaggy Norville.
So, Velma is a show of if you were someone who actively hates every aspect of Scooby Doo and you don't want to write a Scooby Doo show, you have Velma. They
So,
have Shaggy show up on screen. His name is Norville.
Because they changed his race and they stopped him from having a shaggy hairstyle or anything shaggy
Correct.
about him.
So they call him Norville now, and he starts off. One of his first things he says in the entire show is like, "Are you selling drugs? I would never do drugs. Drugs are never something I would even get close to." It's like because people make those jokes about Shaggy back in the days. Oh, he's a
Well,
druggie.
yeah, because he's supposed to be like your average stoner without
Yeah.
saying, oh,
like the
here's him
cast,
smoking weed.
like even though the cast is basic, they're kind of like people you'd see in everyday life.
Yeah, when they
And a
have
talking dog.
personalities. But the main problem with Velma is like, what if we got the skeleton of Scooby Doo, and we got a bunch of racists?
It's written by that stupid fucking chick from The Office. I don't know her name.
It's
The one
not
that
worth
play
saying.
the one that plays Velma in the show was the writer of the show, and she
Which
does,
is a bad
Oh,
sign.
Mindy something.
yeah,
Whatever.
whatever the fuck her name is.
Which, like, voicing your lead is a bad sign. Am I right?
Kerberfer. Wait, Kerber. He's never the lead though. You knew what it was.
Because like there's things like Phineas and Ferb where the creator voices the main villain, but that makes sense because
He
no
voices
one
the
else can
illustrates?
do that. Yeah, no one else can do that fucking accent.
well, it's like Pendleton Ward plays Lumpy Space Princess, right?
Yeah, but
He's not the main character.
the Lumpy Space Princess has like an episode and an arc.
Yeah.
There's a
So yeah, it's like or like Steven Hillenburg, I think played Potty, the parrot in SpongeBob. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't SpongeBob.
That was him being like, "Oh, we need a voice for this character."
Some of the writers played like the two like weenies that argue in Weenie Hut Juniors. Those are two of the writers on the show.
Yeah.
Like that's how you like integrate
That's
yourself, like
voice
cameo yourself.
filling.
And you know,
Yeah.
and then the people in Ruby, and they play as the character that.
Oh yeah, the guy. Yeah, was it Carrie that plays Neptune? And he's like, "Oh, I love this 15-year-old girl. Oh my god."
Ew.
Everyone
What?
wants to date her.
Yeah, in the interviews, like everybody, Yang's that kind of girl that just everybody wants to date.
Yeah.
And they play,
And
yeah,
then he-
what
and then
Sun
he puts
and
himself in
Neptune.
in the show
and hits on the girls of the
hits on
show.
the girls
yeah,
of the show.
that's how you do it
Well,
wrong.
It's kind of like a Tarantino moment where it's like, "Oh man, I need this
Kristen
character
is
to get
accessing the
actively
memories
stepped on
right
and say
now.
the N-word with a hard
Well,
R.
it's
I
yeah.
guess I'm the only one who could play
trying to
him."
think.
And Steven Spielberg did Taxi Driver. I
'Cause he's
think
Neptune.
he does the same shit in that movie.
Yeah, where
That's kind of bad. Like I
Yeah,
wouldn't do
that's not
Miles
great.
plays John, Miles Luna,
yeah.
and Monty played
Ren.
But Ren wasn't really a character because the whole joke was that Monty was always
Ren,
tired.
Ren was the opposite. It's
So
like,
Ren was
please
always
don't do
tired.
anything to the cook.
Yeah, Ren's whole thing is like he didn't talk much because he wasn't a main focus.
Well, he did. So the in joke was that Monty was always so tired that Ren was supposed to be that energy, the guy that's always just like, just doing my thing. I'm just doing my thing.
I mean, the first interaction with him is, Nora, I don't think that would work.
Chris. Ruby lost this meeting, but I didn't have that on the list.
I mean,
There's multiple concrete reasons
It's
for
up and
that.
down. It's up and down.
Ruby's just
He has
yeah.
its moments, and then it
never
fucking
established a
dolphin
meaning.
dives, and then
Yeah.
it pops back.
We
it's
hope
like
it
that
goes
game
up.
where you're the dolphin and you're
What's up?
swimming in the water, but you jump out of the water and
Echo?
then eventually get to the moon.
Echo.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not Echo, is it?
Yeah.
I think it is.
You ride
Is
the
it a computer
current
game?
up to the moon.
Is it not the it's a computer game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I think it's
You
on
just
computers. The second one.
Just-
You just jump.
Well, it begins with you leaping out of the water, and then everything in the ocean gets sucked out.
No, it's not that.
So
I'm
Miles,
thinking of a different game. Don't worry.
not Miles. Carrie
I'm a little too advanced.
said
for
that
you.
Yang was someone everyone would want to date, and that's creepy.
Because he inserts himself into the show,
To hit on the
hitting
character.
on the main girls of the show.
Well, the character's a womanizer. That's his whole thing. Is
Yeah.
he hits on everyone.
But it's like, oh
his
man,
likeness.
we need someone who's
Well,
like
I mean-
really attracted to
I mean,
these
I
girls.
guess-
I guess I'm the only person who can
I
voice
guess
them.
it's different than just getting a random voice actor to do the
Yeah.
role. To, I guess, yeah. I can see
They're
that.
self-insert characters.
I don't think Sun Wukong is a self-insert.
No,
character.
he helped write. They got him from under that mountain.
Oh, you mean just their characters are self-insert characters?
In Ruby, like
I was
not
gonna
that-
say Sun's character definitely isn't Daddy.
We should move on.
Yeah, we somehow got from Velma to that.
You know why I say that, right? The guy that plays Sun is the guy who like one of the main guys who founded Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
And Sun ain't Daddy.
the last one I just put superheroes.
Just in general.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I feel like what it more
Batman never
so.
lost
Well,
to me.
like, here's my thing. Spider-Man has been going in and out of his shit, and I feel like right now Peter Parker is like peak divorced Spider-Man. That's where we want to go with Peter. If we want the high school stuff, just do stuff with Miles.
peak divorce
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I feel like that was a good way to.
Divorced Spider-Man's great.
Did you mean post selling your soul and ending your marriage for no fucking reason?
Yeah, divorce.
I mean, there is that divorced Spider-Man
Divorce,
as
divorce.
well.
And then leaving Black Cat at the altar. Spider. He's fucked over too many people in the comics.
I guess what
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know
Hey,
much
remember
about
Silk?
comics, but like,
Silk was adorable. I like Silk.
Yeah, but that's another way to ruin your marriage.
That's true.
Oh, why didn't my spider sense doesn't work on you?
but I think it's more just like these comics have been going on so long, they just have to like make crazier and crazier things, and it just gets so complicated.
That's
It's
definitely
better to-
a thing with DC.
Yeah, but I think it's like a good idea to pass the torch on to Miles Morales or like other stuff like that.
Yeah, but sometimes you end up with Riri.
There's a good and a bad way to do it, but
Riri
like,
Williams is the person who is Ironheart, and they were like, it's in the nicest way, it's Black Iron Man as a child, and they wrote her character in a way where she didn't deserve any of the things she got. she
Meanwhile,
essentially was handed everything.
There was Miles, who was written for the reason of, yeah, I have my two daughters that I wanted to have a superhero to look up to who looks like them. It's that simple. I mean,
Yeah.
Static Shock came from the same place of
Yeah.
like, hey, we need black people in comics.
I'm honestly like glad you brought that up because like it kind of traces back to the whole origin of superheroes in the first place. Like kind of where I think the meaning changed. I guess not for better or worse, but like Superman was created in the Great Depression as like a symbol of hope for the people. Like we all need like just a Superman in our lives, like come in and fix our problems. Like he was fixing day to day things. Like the
Yeah.
villains he was fighting were more criminals, but now you flash forward, it's like he fights villains that can't be killed, or they come back and they're just stronger, like
Yeah.
intergalactic
Because
proportions.
they turned him into Goku. Because
Yeah,
they don't
essentially.
know how to write what
He originally-
Superman is. Because Superman is just this golden retriever good boy with too
Yeah.
many powers.
Yeah, he couldn't even fly back then. Like that wasn't one of his powers.
Back in the golden age, he just made powers. Though.
Yeah.
Like, you would just be like, "What do I need today?"
Can you believe?
I can
Is that
fly.
why they
Hold on,
say
real
he
quick.
leaps over buildings?
He leaps in
Yeah.
a single bound because he couldn't fly yet. In
However,
the
when it
cartoon,
came
the
to
first,
animating him,
yeah, the very
that's how it
first,
changed.
the first cartoon, I think they just found it looked better for him to fly, so they just added that and they changed the intro.
And his
to
power
reflect.
set's been different ever since.
The whole like monologue was because Superman like kind of after comics started as a radio show, so they would always announce like, it's leaping over the buildings and faster than a speeding plane, and
Think about how
it was just like, wow, that's so crazy to think about. But now it's just like you're so desensitized
It's
to it.
like Spider-Man being in the Avengers. He's not fucking supposed to. His whole
He's
thing is that he's
Spider-Man.
helping New York.
You
He's
don't-
the neighborhood Spider-Man.
So I think Spider-Man was like a rekindling of Superman. Like this is the guy that can help you like directly, and like
he is the guy who's helping you, and he's
And-
going through shit, unlike Superman, who has no problems whatsoever and is helping out everyone for fun.
I think like I don't know much about Superman, but like the first film like with Christopher Reeve is just like a perfect interpretation of him.
Yeah,
He is like the perfect guy, but
I
like
kind of agree.
they just know how to write it so well. It's like a silly and just cute movie. I haven't seen like anything past it though. I've seen Man of Steel.
I really like the original, like early Superman. You could tell he wasn't that strong anymore because his speed. You know how they say faster than a speeding bullet? It was originally faster than a locomotive.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to think about how slow that is.
Are locomotives like different from normal trains?
Yeah.
Okay. But even then, like, then there was something crazy to people back then. The fact that they saw a video of a train coming at the camera and they all thought they were gonna get hit. Like, that's just the kind of era Superman came out of. But yeah, it's like I think it's just more superheroes got so like out of proportion that we're just desensitized. So whatever they can do, they just have to keep making the stakes larger and larger. But characters like
was
Spider-Man
never
originally
about like what Superman was about. Superman has never been that was a close one.
Mhm.
He's always been like overwhelmingly above literally walking on the ground.
He is not meant to be relatable.
Yeah.
It was the line in the second Death Battle. They really insulted his character, being like, "He's not supposed to be relatable. He's not supposed to lose." I'm like, they don't understand his character at all. They don't get that he was created by two Jewish people and that it was supposed to be like
somebody that can come save us.
Yeah,
from-
In most
essentially.
literal
It's an
sense,
immigrant.
is super immigrant.
Yeah, an
Yeah.
immigrant in an unknown world trying to.
Meanwhile,
fit in the best
Captain
he can.
America is the complete opposite.
Captain America is like, "Dose me up, Daddy. Don't do drugs."
So yeah, like
Don't do
Spider-Man-
drugs. They turn you into super.
Spider-Man's good for being a relatable teenager and like
Well,
then
no,
having
he's a horrible relatable teenager. He's a great relatable adult.
Yeah, his stories. I don't know why they always focus on teenagers because his stories as an adult are way
His
better.
teenage year stories is just like, oh no, Green Goblin. Anyway,
Oh no, Gwen Stacy. She thinks I have porn on my laptop. Looks like I'm gonna have to snap her back. Like it's.
But yeah, like I guess then having characters like Static Shock and like characters of other like ethnicities is like it gives them something to look up to.
yeah, because
Like,
it's in,
superheroes aren't real, but like the idea of them carries into the real
That's
world.
You know what I like to look up to? The next topic.
That's it. That's it for the lost the meaning.
The one line.
If you guys have
I
any to
liked-
add,
The one line I liked in Spider-Man: The No Way Home movie, where it was the three of them, is after they take down Electro or whatever his name is, Jamie Foxx's character.
Electro.
He sits down there and Andrew Garfield takes off his mask and he's just like, you know, hearing your voice, I thought you were gonna look more like me. And he's just like, I'm sure there's a black Spider-Man out there somewhere. I'm just like, what the fuck? That's kind of nice.
It
but
also cross promotes Spider-Verse that came
yeah.
out.
All right, that was it for that. But I do have to pee, and I kind of do want to just go grab my laundry. If you want to do a quick intermission, this has been like 90 minutes.
I know they have to be out of here at like 5:30.
Yeah.
It's 4.
No, jeez.
15.
All right, I'll pee.
I mean, the stuff I have to do is at like 7. However, I want to be home earlier than that.
Like at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying 5:30. We have to wrap up, so you're home by 6.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll keep going then.
I do have the next topic.
Bring me the next.
Are we
topic.
on topic 2 of 12 or something?
We're on topic 2 of. Never mind. So,
Connor, come take Chris's spot.
well, here we'll go.
I'm actually
We'll-
here
we'll-
because
we'll-
I've been falling asleep in that chair.
We'll skip.
Just sit upside down.
We'll skip one category for now because this will be quicker. Mini games better than the main game is the next topic.
Every fucking volleyball spin-off ever existed.
I thought.
Here.
You know, you're sitting legitimately how I usually sit. Yeah, there we go.
I'm ready.
So this section is literally here for volleyball and Mario Party.
Yeah, there's a lot of games where it's like, yeah, I fucking love this minigame. Like, there used to be a mashing game in the PS3 version of Castle Crashers, because the way they did each version on consoles is they gave them a different minigame, and now it's just like the competitive board game one, which isn't as like fun to just like pick up and play.
You feeling good?
Why'd you piss in your laundry?
I'm in immense pain.
Go get your laundry.
No. Well,
No.
You can do
That'll
that.
take a little bit. I can
Yeah.
do it after. If
Yeah.
we're only going like another half hour, I'll just wait.
Buckle up. All right, down top.
Sit on him. Sit on him.
There's like just not enough room.
I'm too
He's locked
I'm
in
cushiony.
place.
Sit on him.
Not on him.
Put those cheeks on his tummy.
Get on my belly.
So, Chris, we skipped to minigames better than minigame.
Okay.
We're gonna have to talk about
List yours,
Mario
because
Party.
I talk too much.
Mario
Yeah.
Party Volleyball.
Mario Party Volleyball is just top tier.
Well, yeah, that's just because volleyball
Yeah, I put that
games
too.
are fun. Just
Yeah.
like the
One-
spin-offs for things like DOA.
I think we played the game recently enough that we don't need to talk a long time about this, but I have one that I don't know if any of you guys have played it. In Birth by Sleep,
No.
there's a
No.
mini
Wait,
game.
hold the phone
Hold
for
on.
2 seconds. You don't know if any of us. I
Connor.
streamed it with you.
Connor,
Birth by Sleep, yes, but
Connor,
did
you're
you
gonna
play
like
the mini
this.
We
game?
had
thing.
to.
Connor,
You
you're,
gotta
gonna,
get the final
to get the
ending.
final thing?
Connor, you're gonna like this
To
one.
get the
Mortal
final
Kombat
ending.
Chess.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is that which one? Which game is that in?
I always think it's Armageddon, but I
It's
don't
not.
think it is.
Richard says,
Mortal-
"Chris, sit on him at your own risk."
Mortal Kart.
Mortal Conquer.
Mortal Conk.
Mortal
Meaning
Kombat or
Dice
whatever
from
it's
a
called.
Fall
The
is pretty
karting
mortal.
minigame is
Yeah.
the one. So it must be Deception.
I think it's Deception. Yeah, I think Deception's the one I like.
Deception's a better game. I went into Armageddon thinking it was Deception. I was
yeah.
like, I remember this being an open world, and we were going through like the concept art and stuff for like previous games, and it got to the one where it's like the open world. And I was like, that's the one. That's the one I thought this one was.
I'll set the microphone back a little
Yeah.
so we can get all of this, because now I'm like right in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I'm the back guy.
Thanks for announcing that. What's the next thing?
Well, I have
so,
a few. for
So
the
okay,
minigames.
so Birth by
Unless you
Sleep
do.
though, the mini game, the dice one that you run around. It's
Yeah.
like Mario, not Mario. Wow, Monopoly.
Yeah.
Almost.
I mean, anything like
That I think would be an amazing multiplayer game.
Yeah, but it's not.
It is if you link PSPs.
Yeah, so it's not.
It's just not.
Yeah.
How are you gonna find 2 people that own a PSP? Mine is currently jailbroken.
Mine doesn't.
On my
Mine barely
phone.
works.
Yeah.
Are there other mini games that are better than the
Do you
real
count
game?
Sly Cooper's entirety? Because every single mission is just a mini game.
Then that is
Sort.
Sly
Well, I'm
Cooper.
thinking like ones
is
where you
the
can just
main
boot up
game.
the mini game and just like keep playing constantly.
Like
Spyro
it's in
3?
a sub-menu.
Yeah.
Spyro 3. Oh.
No, that ruined the mini game. I put some that aren't actually better, but I just wanted to know anyway because I couldn't really think of any that
List 'em.
outshined the original. So Final Fantasy, it's Triple Triad. It's probably one of the highlights of the game.
I have one.
What?
That one soldier mini game in. Oh, you didn't play it. That one soldier mini game in Final Fantasy VII remake. That was in the Yuffie
Integrate?
DLC.
Mm.
It was in the original though, right? But is it because they revamped it?
Maybe, but we had a lot of fun doing that. The one where it's planning the 20 soldiers. That one, we had a lot of
Yeah.
fun doing that. It was better than it was in the original
Mhm.
7, and because Integrates sucks.
But yeah, Triple Triad was like it was a lot of fun to play, but you play it way too much in the game, and that's how you have to farm it to get like the best stuff. And
Any
the fact that it
of-
relies on so many random values, and it's like manipulating RNG by talking to this person 20 times, denying them 17 of the 20 times,
The-
going into the menu, and if you're playing on PS1, it takes so long to
The
load.
Soul Calibur and Tekken character customizations.
Yeah, that can be considered mini games. Yeah.
What about
Or bowling or
Tekken
volleyball.
bowling? Yeah, Tekken.
Yeah.
Tekken volleyball is really fun.
Tekken
Or the
volleyball
beat 'em up.
looks fun.
Remember the beat 'em up in Tekken 3?
That sucks.
It did.
Um,
And you have to unlock Boscanovich by doing it. But like the main game is still so good, but yeah, the mini games are worth noting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was count as the mini game, but Soul Calibur 2 is like mission mode.
That's
It's
a
not-
story
kind of-
mode.
I guess it's because
kind
it's
of
still like the
story.
same kind of gameplay. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking like the gameplay is different.
Kirby, it's really small, I know, but in the Superstar Deluxe, there's like little mini games in it where it's like the quick draw
Yeah.
and the power.
Which doing
I
those
like
with like a friend is fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Granted, nothing's better than the Great Cave of Fence. But I really like the Great Cave of Fence.
Yeah.
Still.
Oh,
Uh,
there's one mini game that tops them all.
Triple Deluxe.
We played this last time, me and Tristan yesterday. Oh, Go Fish.
Fuck off.
Kirby
We played-
Triple Deluxe. Its whole thing is that it was the main Kirby game and then 2 side games that got made into full games. One of which was like the Kirby fighting game that was really
Yeah.
fun.
So yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, like I loved
That's
Triple
it.
Triad. It just gets bogged down by like the trade rules they have to
Oh.
manipulate and a lot of reloading your saves. You have to soft reset the game. But that's if you want the best stuff. You're not supposed to know that. But then you're just struggling by like doing an entire match just to maybe get one card.
Mhm.
If you like that, you're gonna love nines.
Yeah.
The Chow Garden.
It's not good though.
No, the
I
Chow Garden minigames
feel
are pretty
like-
fun. Like, I like prepping the child for beating up other children.
Well, the beating up part is a separate minigame within the minigame. I think
Yeah.
just Chow Garden itself, just raising chows.
Which, like, Sega
You
would
disagree.
release if they liked money.
No, I agree. I think if you're not like me and you have the time
Mm.
and the patience,
If you're
It's
playing
a
a game for
different-
fun, you could do it.
It's
But
a
it was like,
different
what was the invisible
set of,
values
like,
and
what you
shit?
yeah,
want
that
out
that,
of
that was
Sonic.
that was the thing that was pissing me off is that
Richard
there's
says.
invisible values that doesn't tell you, and those values can be like a deciding factor.
Yep.
And there's also like Sonic Adventure 1s, I trained all my chows the best I could. We got to the final part, right? And I got destroyed by this black chow that just came and fucking wrecked shop. Like I couldn't compare.
That's
And so
like
I
the
trained-
main problem I have with things like Pokemon, where it's
Yeah.
just like, oh,
Difficulty
these
spikes.
hidden values are what actually decide whether or not a Pokemon's worth using.
Yeah. And that's like a lot of Triple Triad is just those kind of values.
Yeah.
I trained my chow even more after that, spent more time on him, and then the next race I did, the same exact race. The black chow never showed up, and I just dominated it.
Yep.
And it was like, alright, well, I wasted my time doing that. I got every emblem, though. I got Green Hill Zone, I'm very proud of that.
Did you
I
you
just-
beat your brother?
I just remember that I was sending Chris updates as like I was getting the A ranks for everything. I'd be like, I got another set of levels down. He texted me back, how are you doing this?
You're cheating. I cheated, and you're cheating too.
I like the story where it's like you're just leaving and then suddenly you lose the game.
Oh, the Fire Emblem thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We were just
got
talking about
All
that
your
today.
progress.
yeah, fucking got home, and the first thing I see when I get out of my car, I check my phone. I died at the end. The boss one shot killed me, and I just fucking on the yard got on the floor and started laughing. I was like, I just watched you do that for like 2 fucking hours. And now
Yeah.
you have to do it
Yeah.
all again.
I love Fire Emblem. Another one where like the game is too good where I can't say the minigame is better. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are like some of the best Pokemon games, but Voltorb Flip is so addicting.
Voltor Flip is really addicting.
I love it. It's kind of like Sudoku, but like or Minesweeper.
Was that which one? Was
And I'm not
that?
gonna go into detail.
Which
What?
one was that in?
Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
It's the
It's totally worth them getting rid of the whole gambling thing in game corners
Yeah.
because they invented Voltorb Flip.
That's Stadium. The whole mini game better than the main game is Stadium.
Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember
Yeah.
about Stadium is the mini games. I don't even remember what the main game is like.
I can't believe I didn't put that. Yeah, that's like I think the number one.
It's
Pick.
Pokemon Battle
funny.
in 3D.
Well, no, it
because I thought of
the
that
opposite
like
is
an
Smash
hour
4
ago.
with like. I
Well,
mean,
on 3DS, that one was pretty good.
yeah, Street Smash or the running
Actually-
around thing was fun.
Yeah, where you actually had to like go
but the
collect
World Ends With You
stats.
pin ripoff was,
Yeah,
but the Smash 4 party board sucked.
Smash
Yeah.
Bros.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the last one I
Agreed.
put was from the SNK versus Capcom, like the Pocket Color game I just played,
yeah.
because like all those games were either mid or bad. Because like you'd rather just play Capcom versus SNK or like the console equivalents when these are all just watered down versions for the sake of being portable at the time. And it's like, yeah, this is the
Mhm.
best we had, but it's 2024 now and we don't need this. But like when I played the SVC one, it was just like a standard fighter, but you only have 2 buttons, all chibi sprites, whatever. But like they had this Olympics mode in it where you just do mini games. Like some of them it's like, oh, fight enemies until you die, like it's a traditional fighter. But then they had like a Ghosts and Goblins one where you got to get Arthur across the chasms and dodge like the firebrands. Like it's a Game & Watch type thing. They had a Felicia rhythm game that just didn't work. On the SNK side, they had like a Metal Slug one where you just got to like shoot aliens around. And then they had a stupid one where it's like Samurai Showdown guy, I think, and you have to like hit enemies. It's like one of the Mario Party mini games like that where it's like up, down, left. It's like up, left, up, right, down, left, and down, right.
Mhm.
Enemies that you have to hit, but because the Pocket Colors buttons A was on the left of B and they didn't fix it for the Switch, the left
Yeah.
button hit the right enemies, so I just gave up. None of these games were actually very good, but it was the highlight of the game. 'Cause
Yeah.
the main game just was like mediocre.
Next category.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say. I think it's time to move on to the next category. So we're gonna go with mini games or
Mario Party 5 volleyball. This is not an ideal position. I'm just saying.
Chris, what was the one before that? I deleted the wrong one by accident.
The games define our tastes.
Yes, that one.
Hang on. I don't like this position because, like, to look at you, I have to do this.
Should I get up?
And I'm like, yeah.
Just don't look
Yeah.
at me.
Because I'm just, like,
Just don't fucking look at me. Ever.
Here, get up real quick.
Don't
to
you
look at
ever,
you guys in the stream is just not comfortable.
Don't you ever look at me.
We'll switch spots.
No.
Alright, games define our tastes. Yeah, I only put really a few.
Cooking Mama.
I love
I love
NFTs
that.
too. Or what was it? Mining Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gordon Ramsay's got a Hell's Kitchen.
Gordon Ramsay's gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Haha.
Fucking Seke Ramsey would murder me.
Nothing defines our tastes.
do you
Let's
want
move
some, do you want some jalapenos?
Seke. All right.
All right.
The joke is that it was food related and it defines our taste.
Played up. Overcooked.
Didn't we already play it? It just got announced for Switch.
Yes. It was announced for Switch when we played it, but I was like, yeah, we're not waiting for.
Like the trailer just came out.
you know.
It got released for Switch.
Yeah.
That was a release trailer. That's different from
It took them a while. They're slacking.
What games do you have listed?
Mario
Just
RPG.
whacked me.
Why? Why Mario RPG? Why?
I think it's my favorite Mario game. My favorite,
Yeah, because it's not a Mario game.
Yeah.
not my favorite Super Nintendo game. Earthbound, I think is still better, but it's
Start doing
just
the-
like a good beginner RPG, even more so than Pokemon. Just like it does nothing wrong. But I guess what defines my taste is just like the fun, I guess, interactivity of it. Like it's hard to explain, but like each of the buttons does a different command. There's timed button presses for things. It kind of keeps you more engaged in an RPG. Like instead of just selecting everything you do,
This is
and
why I
just
think
sitting
you
there
like
watching
Lost
it.
Odyssey because you
There's a
really
lot of,
like
like-
the timed button presses.
Yeah. Even though I suck at them sometimes, but
both
like
both of your favorite games. The first thing you say in this list is the game where you press the button.
Nothing will beat Tristan the Geno World Master.
yeah, I can never do that.
So
But you can't figure out fucking Michael.
what?
You can't figure out Michael.
Michael?
Yick, camera guy.
Oh yeah.
Some of them get stupid though, but Mario RPG is just simple. Just press the A button when it says to, or not even when it says to, but like when the enemy is about to hit you. Is it like every enemy has just a different timing you gotta learn, or your weapons when you make contact with the enemy, you just hit A and that's it. Like I hate when it's like hold this like tome was it tome that like you gotta hold left on the analog and mash A B X Y or whatever
I think
to do
so.
attacks. Like no, or
Well,
the just
It, wa-
the
it wasn't
standard like
it wasn't
hand to hand combat sucked.
It wasn't ABXY. It was the D-pad. You had to like circle the D-pad.
Yeah, circle one D-pad and like do this. I mean, Mario RPG has that with Bowser, like circle the D-pad to do his moves, but you shouldn't be using specials as Bowser. But it's more just like it's such a fun game, and like it's not Nintendo making a Mario game. Square tried their hand at it and like gave their flair to the Mario universe, and it's just something so polishing. Where I guess in defining my taste, it's like Mario wasn't very on brand with the game. I think it's also what I hate about like new Mario. It lost its magic is like everything has to be on brand. Like Mario will never look different again, except an RPG remake. But
where he looks stupid.
he does, yeah. But like everyone else like has to look on brand all the time. Like this is what the mushrooms are always gonna look like from now on. The toads are always gonna have the spots in the same places. But like seeing Square's like attempt at it, it's kind of like Super Show. Like they're basically just these two old dudes that threw the costumes on, and they're just kind of going at it. But like now everything has to be.
You know, that's what really
Two old
defines
dudes going at it.
That's what really defines Chris's taste. Two old dudes in costumes going at it.
Starts with "fuck you, Luigi," and that's why I love Mario RPG because it's about
It's just two old dudes in costumes going at it.
the end. Earthbound, kind of self-explanatory. Just like it taught me that like, games are more than a game, and it's like it's an experience without sacrificing the gameplay. Like Earthbound is still a full game. It's honestly an easier RPG than most now that I've played like Final Fantasy and stuff. But like, it's like you just kind of feel something while you're playing it all the way through. Like it just has that charm, and like just the simple 2D graphics can go a much longer way than like anything polished 3D. Mother 3 is next because it sacrifices charm for story, but like it doesn't sacrifice the gameplay. Like just the timed, it's another timed hit thing, but it's it keeps you in tune with the music. So like, you fall in love with the soundtrack because they kind of force you to.
Except one song that I guess is offbeat.
So many are offbeat. They fuck
Oh,
you
really?
over. They make hard versions to fuck you over. And then what I hate that I learned is like different songs have different like I guess windows where you have to like hit them on frame. Like some it's like you have to be frame perfect. Others you have like different buffer room, and they don't ever explain it. It's just something that was programmed. But if you don't look at that, like it just keeps you more immersed in the game. And even though it is a simple, you all select your turns and you all do the moves. Every time you attack, you still have to like time the button presses. And Earthbound and Mother 3, you have the real time element of your HP scrolling down. So even if you took a mortal blow, you can still heal yourself. So it keeps like you engaged in the battle without making it this super complicated. Just hit them until they die, like in a real time adventure. But also
Yeah.
just having a whole world you fall in love with. Honestly, like the main characters of the Mother series aren't anything special. They're all silent for the most part. Mother 3 is the only one they really like have them talking.
And it's just like, here is Lucas. He has the worst childhood ever.
Yeah.
I
And
believe
he-
that's literally his like trophy description.
And it's not even his own childhood. It's just his mom died when he was 9.
He's
and that's
had a
it.
very unfortunate.
Oh, and his brother also
life.
left, and then his dad also left. So yeah, he went from having a great childhood to just being completely alone. It's kind of like a Mori, where everything was great until the one thing happened.
You're not going to spoil Mori right now, right?
No,
Or
is,
the other
is that
thing,
something
like
that
the-
defines you?
almost drowning, but
probably. I don't have a list written out like Chris does.
Well, like
but-
Mother 3, like I've pretty much never stopped talking about it since I played it. It's just like that's when Jay originally told me when you play Final Fantasy 7 you're going to compare every game to it. That's kind of me with Mother 3. It's like this is the gold standard now.
I can't
I-
feel that way about Square games.
I can't
Yeah,
believe
no.
you don't shut up about. I don't have anything that I never shut up about.
Hey Tristan, go not shut up about something.
Laundry rooms.
The next 3 are kind of like less impactful, but I put them
Why do
anyway.
you have 6?
Mario Kart 64, because that was like the gateway to classic games for me. Like I was playing the Wii, and that was pretty much it, and like the DS at the time. I only wanted to play what was new. I was like, fuck the GameCube, that shit's old. I don't care what's on it. But it's because I grew up with like a lot of shovelware. Like I didn't even play like Melee. I think at the time I was playing Sonic and shovelware, same thing. But I wasn't playing like what the GameCube had to offer. But I was playing like all the best Wii games, and probably not even too. But like playing the 64 for the first time, starting with Mario Kart 64 is what like it's like this game. It does suck. Like we played it. It hasn't aged well at all, but I love it, and it's because of just like seeing that before Mario had to be on brand. Like
Literally
all the
just,
characters-
This is hot garbage. I can't get enough.
But like, why do all the characters have different voices? Why are the graphics so like fake looking? And just kind of like this whole wonder, like this whole like them playing Mario 64 and Zelda. It's like this whole world is just in this little cartridge. Or PlayStation, like why are they on like a disc with like a black back to it? And just like I don't know the wonder of it, but it all started with Mario Kart 64. I'm like, I have to get into all these games. I'm going to start doing research. I'm getting a 64. Originally, I was just I'm going to buy these on Virtual Console, but then Smash 64 wasn't on it yet. Like I have to get a 64. So that's just really what started it. I mean, really, it was like Banjo-Tooie and Majora's Mask and Mickey at McDonald's, but I didn't know what the console was because it was buried inside the kiosk. But getting to play a 64, that
Buried.
was like,
Buried
That was
inside
it.
the kiosk. It's in there somewhere.
some
I'll
you,
get
you can
you
look through the
out.
little, you can look through the little like holes, like the speaker holes, and kind of make out like a console in there.
I see the shape. No, that's a drawing.
I remember around that time is when they got rid of them too, and I was like, I wish I went to McDonald's and they like were gonna throw them out and like asked for one of them.
Think they would have given you it?
No.
I mean, that's what Art did with the arcade cabinets. He got some of the ones downstairs from Six Flags when they were like, "We're getting rid of them." He's like, "But how much do you want them for?"
Yeah.
And to be fair, he recycled those into different machines.
Yeah.
But just the shells like are the originals.
Yeah.
I put Frogger because that was the first game I ever played, and it kind of is like the same thing. Like the graphics suck, but it kind of has like an origami look to it. It's like the bad graphics became its own style, and that's like a part of the retro revival. Is like people hate that era of gaming. They're like it's the worst looking like games.
For what?
But like the 64 PlayStation era, like the early polygons, like people hate it, but other people like retro revivalists have like made games with that style.
Wait, the one I
Remember
just
the one
played.
we were going to put on the list?
Oh, but it's not out.
No.
The one I just played. That was made to look like an N64 game, Cavern of
Cavern of
Dreams.
Dreams, yeah. Or the one you were talking. I remember. I know the one you were talking.
I
about.
can't remember what the one. I wanted to look for it the other day, but I couldn't remember what it was called.
But like Frogger, I know it's not. It's a severely unpolished game, but it's like one of those games like classic Resi where once you learn the mechanics of it, it becomes so fun. Like also because no one has the patience to learn it. I'm the only one that's like good. And it's nice to say that I'm good at a game, but the rest of you aren't. But it's more
To
just because
say
like,
that I'm good at any game is a stretch.
I can play a game.
I've played. What do you think is the game I've probably played the most?
I don't know.
Sonic Adventure
yeah.
2.
Crash.
For me, it's definitely Fire Emblem Heroes.
Mute that so we don't get fucking. Maybe Crash Team Racing Metro.
Probably.
Actually, someone else talk about their games.
Yeah.
Oh, one more. I put Darkstalkers just because, like, when it comes to fighting games, I feel like that one's just my favorite because it just has an all around. I'm putting all of them on there, but like, it just all around has like good gameplay, some of the best artwork, great music. Like they put like all their effort into it. It's like a lot of fun. Like the fact that Dimitri has moves that turns every male character into a female and every female into sexier females, and then turns Morgan into a chibi like little thing, and sucks their blood out until they're like drained. That's part of what defines me as a gamer.
You're talking about Darkstalkers.
What were you thinking?
Oh, you said Dimitri, so I was thinking about Fire Emblem. I was just like,
yeah, when
He
he
does all this?
I was like, this is
This
in the game.
This wasn't in the death battle. Him turning
Guts into a woman.
busts.
Busts. Oh my god.
You didn't need to tell everyone you were going to do that.
And now and it makes it stronger.
No, Three Houses would never define me. If it defined me, I shouldn't call myself a gamer.
Yeah.
But
True.
Dark Stalkers, just like I think it's Capcom's like fighting games at their peak. Like I like the Halloween style of it too.
Yeah.
Like all the monsters, like Street Fighter is cool. Like I like the characters of that game. They're all from different parts of the world. They have their different fighting styles. But you take that, like all the monsters in Darkstalkers are from other parts of the world, but they're like also from different times because like some of them are thousands of years old. So you get different like mythologies thrown in there, and they just have crazy movesets. Like Morgan's like a succubus with like bats and like a soul fist, but then she also just has like missile launchers that come out and a jetpack. Like there's like no, they like take the rules and they break them. And cars can just like come apart and just like two guys.
What, have
around.
you not gotten hit with succubus missiles after telling them no?
It happens to me every time.
Or like BB Hood is such like an unpredictable character. Like when you first see her, just Red Riding Hood, then just she wants to kill everybody and just has all these guns under her, including an entire army of gunmen. She just pulls out from her dress. It's like puts Peach to shame with the toads and the kitchen equipment.
She has a whole crew too.
Yeah. So like it like doesn't take itself seriously, I guess. There's really no story to it. They have like endings, but those are never really anything special. But just like it always knows how to have fun like through and through. So it's just an aesthetically pleasing game, tight gameplay.
Tristan, talk about your games.
So
You
yeah.
go first.
No, you go first.
You go first. I'm still thinking.
Just go. You
Connor-
have like
Connor, you can go
3
next.
games that define your entire existence.
What are they?
Jack and Daxter Nier Automata.
Nier's a more recent one. I think Nier has been less formative for you.
Yeah, a
But
lot of them have to be, like,
definitely,
earlier.
your PlayStation trio.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
PS2.
that's like
trio.
your childhood.
Yeah, the Jack, Sly, Ratchet guy.
Like Spyro built very much on what you consider good for like a platformer and just like a collectathon in general.
I think it's the game because you're always talking about set pieces and like world building, so it's the games that like encapsulate that.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Nier, I would add it was the first game that like incorporated story and world equally to me to be like, whoa, okay,
Mhm.
all right, I'm actually like enjoying exploring the world and making inferences based on.
Yeah, you want story like to enhance your
Yeah.
gameplay experience. Like, I guess that's what like Mark Brown said about Nintendo is like the story and the characters and the gameplay are all linked as one thing. One doesn't detract from the other. They all like work together.
Yeah.
I would say games like Omori, I would probably put in there just for. It doesn't really shape me as a gamer, you know what I mean? But like in terms of a story that is so intricate that even playing it 2-3 more times, you're still picking up on things that were like, oh, okay, oh, all right, oh, that's awesome. And then it's also, fucked up because I like fucked up shit.
Yeah.
But then we play Yume Nikki, which was apparently the inspiration. You're like, where's the game? When does the game start? And then you're like, this is the whole game. You're like,
Undertale was like that to a degree. Like it still had plenty of gameplay, but it was still not like the focus of it, and it's very simple gameplay.
Speaking of where is the game, this is gonna be a weird pick for me considering
So it's getting
how,
dark in here.
Yeah, this is gonna be a weird pick for me because considering how the gameplay is literally walking. But the Stanley Parable was very formative for me because I think it was literally my first introduction to any sort of meta narrative, and just the simplistic thing of, oh, your choices mean something, which still no other game has gotten to, which is really sad
Detroit.
considering the entire genre of your choices mean something.
Detroit.
Oh, you mean, hey, but what if we didn't call them slaves?
No, there's a shit ton of choice in Detroit.
There's a shit ton of choice in Detroit, but it doesn't really change anything other than a cutscene.
No, it doesn't. It completely changes the entire game. You can have whole scenarios play out completely differently, or have not scenarios that
But
don't
those-
happen because other scenarios are happening based on your choices.
Yeah, it is the first introduction of a flowchart, but it just doesn't mean anything to me when it's that flowchart, you know? Because it's just like, this core message of the game stays the same. It's always gonna be, but what if slavery again, but are robots people?
Are you thinking of like games where your choices just more result in different dialogues and different choices rather than like impacting the gameplay?
Well, no, because the whole thing about the Stanley Parable is every ending you get is a huge different meaning and different commentary about any game in general.
Mm.
Like, it's way more like broadly applicable to be like, yeah, you got to the bottom of the mind control facility or into the broom closet, and wow, these are bad examples.
And how the only good ending is being conformative.
Well, no, that's the good ending for Stanley is, hey, you have Stanley do Stanley things and he gets to be Stanley instead of you ruining him forever.
And then you get to the dev room, and your choices there mean a lot.
Should I open a window or turn a light on?
You could.
I'll try the
We're
light.
we're only going for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Still.
If Connor ever comes
won't.
back.
Let's try this.
Ooh.
No.
No.
No, I got two
Open,
comic book
open the
shades.
shades
Yeah.
and get the blue light in here a little more. No, pull those shits up.
No.
No.
Why?
So I have to pull them back down when I want to close them.
Because
Close that one.
It takes 2
This
fucking
one?
seconds. What do you mean you have to pull them back down?
It doesn't make a difference.
You don't have lines going through our face.
They don't show up on camera.
He closed the fucking curtain.
Because it's too bright.
We
is
closed that
good
one
enough.
because it literally overexposed everything and made it hard for me to see.
How did it work last time? Is it because the tree was there?
Yeah.
Should I put the Christmas tree back up?
Yeah.
I got 10 minutes. Help me hang the ornaments. You have to put the ornaments in all the right places.
Another like series that was very formative for me was just like the Shin Megami Tensei series, which pretty much just introduced me to the concept of I'm a masochist.
Same.
I fucking SMT as a series pulls no fucking punches. 3 is famous for bosses going in loops of giving themselves more turns and then just not letting you play the game.
That's fantastic.
And we're playing it.
No. No.
And also just like the very basic style of this RPG series that is continued on to multiple series is just like the backbone all comes from SMT because like
Yeah,
even the Digimon story games are SMT spin-offs.
And like SMT has its own spin-offs. Like Persona is its own spin-off series, the most
well,
successful.
SMT
But then like,
is a spin-off. It's a spin-off of a book.
oh, it is.
Yeah.
Like even just
Megami
starting.
Tensei.
Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei is not Megami Tensei.
No, there are. I think there are Megami Tensei games.
There
Yeah,
are
but
Megami
what-
Tensei games, but those are a part of SMT. They're just before the name change happened. So like Megami Tensei If is a part of the SMT series.
All right. But even that like aren't like there are other spin-offs in that like Strange Journey, like the ones where they go into like space and shit. And,
Yeah,
like,
and
Devil
those
Summoner,
are those
Devil
still have
Survivor.
the same core of like SMT, there's also things like Digital Devil Saga.
Yeah. Where it's like the
Uh,
same
There's
formula, but
Soul
like
Hackers.
yeah, but like I think Soul Hackers was like, is that a new or Soul Hackers 2? Was it like new?
Yeah,
I saw a trailer and like this looks amazing. Then I'm like, I'm gonna wait because it's part of Megami Tensei. Let's just back it up and start from the beginning and like get to that point eventually. I'm not gonna go dive straight into this yet
yeah.
because it was just advertised as Soul Hackers 2, and I'm like, what is this? But yeah, it all stems from the
But
same thing, but it's different enough
that-
to make each like spin
That
off its own
core
thing.
bone structure puts me through like a lot of games in the series because Persona 1 and the Persona 2s are very different from like 3 onward.
Yeah.
Most SMT games are like either they follow the formula of like first person dungeon crawler, which is like what the first Persona was,
Yeah.
or they're like SMT 3 and like Persona 3 where they are like still have these like dungeon elements, but now they're like third person and more focused on an actual like map
Mhm.
rather than getting through this generated area,
Yeah.
like this first person maze, which I still enjoy both of those like a lot. Like playing Persona 1, it was really fun just to be in like the first person environments going through these mazes.
Yeah, I like those kind of games. The only one I played was the first Phantasy Star. They dropped it after the first game.
Yeah.
But that was back in the day where you had to get the graph paper out and graph your own maze. But I played the Sega Ages version on Switch that has like the gameplay's only on like the left side of the screen, and then they
Yeah.
map it out for you on the right side. It's like, oh, fill out the whole map. It's not randomly generated, but like it's very dickhead design.
Dick design.
Yeah. But it was like Sega's RPG at the time, like rivaling Final Fantasy. So it was kind of cool. Like
Yeah, we're
it's
getting-
impressive for the Master System to be doing like the first person view, and Yushi Naka programmed it.
And we're getting another one.
Are we?
That whole Sega thing where they showed all those.
Oh yeah.
And there's also games that were really formative for me, which is weird mix of Castle Crashers and Devil May Cry,
Mm.
where the game itself is linear, but what you actually do in those points is where you have the freedom.
Yeah. How do
Because
you
like
fight
Mission 1
things?
in Devil May Cry is always going to be the same beats, but it's never going to be the same fight.
Mhm. Yeah, you have different fighting styles. It's kind of like what I like about Hollow Knight, where they don't ever tell you how to play one way.
Yeah.
That's not a linear game at all, but like even the way like you can be a mage, you can be quick, you can be powerful, you can shape your character into who you want. So Devil May Cry has a linear story and like progression through the game, but like especially 3 adopting the fighting styles
Yeah.
lets you play your way.
Playing my own way is a very big thing for me because freedom in games is an important thing. Because like linear stories can be good as long as I have freedom for what I do in between.
Mhm. And like choosing your own gameplay style justifies me like being a pussy in games. Like I can still succeed
Well,
just as
like-
much as you can.
Here's my thing, right? Because I love freedom in games, I fucking hate Okami.
Yeah, exactly.
Because every time I was like, or I could do this, let me try this, the game takes you aside and says no.
yeah, if they wanted to tell you that you shouldn't be doing it
most
yet,
fun I had was apparently a bug where it didn't stop me.
With what?
It was the fucking time stop temple.
Where it just didn't stop you.
Yeah, where it just
Oh.
let me parry things that were going too fast.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's not supposed to let you do that. I did that and I felt great about it because doing stuff with the mechanics you're given and applying them to other things feels great. Having the freedom to choose, am I going to do it this way or that way, is great. Kami hates it.
yeah, if the game were designed well, it would prevent you from doing things early in a different way than just telling you not to.
Or just...
Like, what were you trying to do? Draw the sun, and it was like, why are you drawing the sun?
Yeah, like,
Yeah, why
I
are you
have an
doing
ability to draw
stupid?
things. Let me try a circle.
So what it should have
What are you,
been,
dumb?
so what it should have been is
And
that
then
you
3 seconds later, draw a circle.
Yeah, but what they should have done is let you draw the sun. It puts a sun in the sky, but it just doesn't affect that part of the game yet.
Yeah.
Like you learn to do it. You just don't think, oh, it does nothing. Like just putting the sun there doesn't do anything until a
it's just
point
like,
where
oh,
like,
that's neat. Until it's like, wait, I need this area to have this fire go away. What if I made it
I remember
rain?
drawing a sun. Let me try it now, and then
Yeah.
it works. They don't tell you to do anything.
Meanwhile, Okami is just, we must tell you to do everything. If you
You're
do
gonna do it
something we're
exactly
not
as we
telling
tell
you,
you.
Fuck you.
This is your 9 to 5 factory job. You're going to do it by the books.
I'm gonna get more Superman creators.
Even fucking games where you run a factory are more open.
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, I just
Superman
was-
creators?
Yeah, juice.
Oh. My farting sounds of the couch are more entertaining.
Oh, was that the couch or was
Yeah,
that you?
that was the
Are
couch.
you lying? I thought of one that I'm surprised I didn't think of for myself, which is All Stars. It's probably
Started the crossover craze.
what started the crossover craze wasn't All Stars. It was
It was Jimmy Timmy Power
It
Hour.
was
I
Haloid.
did a twerk for
Yeah.
Haloid was the
That
first
was
thing I
pretty
saw
adventure.
where it was like seeing Samus and Master Chief fight off all the Arbiters and all that shit. I was like,
Yes, Connor, we're in the darkness. There's nothing we can do.
I mean, I could
The,
just
po-
make
the
it
podcast
better.
is coming to a close.
But do you believe in a thing called love?
All Stars
What are your-
was the first game where it was like, this is what a crossover could be. The
Yeah.
worlds are merging.
It's like
the
the-
characters are interacting.
It had great
Fusion
ideas, just
Fall.
like the gameplay overall.
I played the shit out of Fusion
Yeah.
Fall.
Yeah.
People complain because all the Powerpuff Girls were wearing stripper stockings, and I was like,
It's like the only thing you ever mentioned.
I know, because it's the only thing my mom would say when she would watch me play it. She would see me like, because you ran around, you did quests, right? There was Samurai Jack.
I
She
want you to
never-
keep them off the screen. I
she
don't like
never-
them being on the screen, but you have to play as them to beat the game.
She would be like, I don't know if I want you playing this when they're treating little kids like
That
they're
was my
strippers."
mom with Shadow the Hedgehog. Like, she's like,
Really?
I don't like you playing games with guns and swearing. I'm like, I just won't pick up the guns, and I just
I-
try not to die.
I heard you say the words, I wish my mom were Shadow the Hedgehog.
Richard said I'm gonna watch that bit on repeat over and over again. Which bit?
I
Connor shaking
twerked.
his ass.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I twerked in front of the camera.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice. No, but All Stars was like it's a flawed game,
Mhm.
100%.
but it like taught you what it meant to have a good crossover.
Yeah, like the moment I saw Cole McGrath meet Raiden and he just like softly whispers, "You want a?" I was hooked.
Connor, games.
What games define you as a gamer?
Yeah.
Like what you
Oh,
like?
we're still on this topic?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
you
the
were
last-
gone
it's
so
the-
long.
It's the last topic of the
Holy
night.
cow.
It's our last topic.
Oh my
Of the
god.
night.
Games that defined me, huh? Well,
Mhm.
Kingdom Hearts was big for me.
Mhm.
It just defined the type of mystery sort of vibe. It's the vibe. That's what it was that I really
The vibe
liked,
of
the
one that
original
like
Kingdom
none of
Hearts.
them have. Like who's Leon, and then you
Mhm.
find out it's just Squall.
Yeah.
And like Mickey, like just being referred to as the king, and you
Yeah.
find him like two
just-
like
it's
already
just-
even
it's
Chain of
the
Memories
little
ruined
moments.
it. Like
What it is the little moments that you find. Oh, I threw a blizzard in a hot stove or something. I don't know.
yeah,
Whatever. In
I thought you
Tarzan.
were gonna say I threw a pussy because you started saying put. It's like I threw a pussy.
I was gonna
I'm
say
like,
potion.
where was
but
that
you
in
don't put
Kingdom
the potion,
Hearts?
you put
yeah.
the
What happens if you
blizzard
give
in
the potion to the
Yeah,
flower?
why can't you throw Jim in it?
alchemist thing and the fire and the
Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't just about the
it was,
combat.
like,
It was
little
using your
things.
powers to like change the world a little bit.
Use your electricity to do the electric thing and you do the wind to do the
You
windy
get scared
thing.
because you fight Oogie Boogie too early, and then the chest disappears in front of your eyes.
Like
Not
I
more.
fucked up, and that was a good lesson though because it was a mistake you can't correct. Some things in life, that's it.
Games that have
It'll always
lost
be
their
incomplete.
can't correct.
But like, no, it's
but, like-
okay.
but,
We'll put the
like,
Trinity down here for later.
the vibe of that game.
Here's
is
your
just-
warm milk and go to bed.
The vibe
Like,
is just so good. And then obviously Metroid for
Mhm.
Metroidvania.
The game's
specifically Zero Mission
linear equal bad.
started it. Where the point of Metroid Zero Mission in my life has been this is a game I can complete and I can play again
and get faster
and get
better.
faster at it
Fine tune it
and get
yeah.
better at it. And this is the first game I like got better at playing.
And then people see you playing it, and they're like, "How are you doing this? Like you're inhuman."
I guess another one would be Sonic Adventure 2, but specifically because it's the first game I ever completed. Like
Oh yeah,
Got
first
to the
game
end.
we ever
You got all the
completed
emblems?
Is
I didn't get to all the emblems, but I completed it. You know?
because
I
the
was a
first
kid.
game I completed was Castle Crashers.
Hmm.
I honestly don't know mine, so
Would you say that part
Are we
that,
saying
that was
completed
something
or
that defined you too?
100%?
Yeah, mainly because it was like my first drive of I'm going to finish this game instead of I'm going to play this game.
I was like, I'll have fun with this today. But
you mean
no,
100%
this game,
like
I-
get every single thing in the game?
Yeah,
Not 100%. I didn't 100% it that time.
I 100% in Castle
it was the
Crashers.
first
There's
game
stuff
that
you
I got
can't
to the
get on
credits.
certain versions of the game that I had to bug through by going online and finding people who had it, taking it from
I think we
them.
should turn the light on. I think it would look better than this.
Or I
Yes.
could just
Or I mean, we're about done. Yeah, that works.
Look at Connor. Look at him.
All right, sorry to cut you off, Connor.
So, other games that define me. I mean, Hollow Knight was huge.
Mhm.
It's one of my favorite games of all time. Introduced us to the man, the myth, the legend.
Yep.
You know,
For that alone,
That
for
alone.
Richard alone.
I believe it was. I thought it was a Trader Lord fight, but I think maybe it was the shopkeeper fight.
I thought it was
he
King
came in.
Grim.
King
No.
Grim wasn't there for most of the game's life.
No, he was. He started in either the Shadow, Grub Collector. The Collector. He either started in the Collector or the Trader, which is the Mantis Lord.
Well, it couldn't have been that because we don't really
Traitor.
know who the traitor is yet.
You gotta start
Yeah.
crossing off heads on your shirt.
So I mean, those are huge. Resident Evil 4.
Yep.
Resident Evil 4 was just
Just like some of the tightest gameplay.
tightest gameplay.
It's just
Resident
fun.
Evil, but what if you actually were involved and had fun?
So,
Because like Resi 4 is just like all you need is the game. Like just
Sonic
playing
Adventure
through
2,
it is so much fun. Same with like Adventure 2, but
like,
Resi
that's what I'm
4
saying.
is so
like,
much
Sonic
better
Adventure
with
2 is fun to just play. Like if
Yeah.
you're not gonna do all the extra stuff.
I guess
fun
the
to
difference
just
like
play.
Adventure
And
2
it's
isn't
the
a
same for Resident Evil 4.
yeah. Well, I think with Adventure 2 it's like not a great game. We just love playing it. Resi 4 is a great game through and through.
Sonic Adventure 2 is a game I used to fucking hate.
Like
But-
Resi 4 just like all you need to do is just play the game. The adaptive difficulty is so perfect, and what Mark Brown said is they don't advertise it to
Did
you.
you watch that?
Yeah, it's an
That one is
invisible. It's an invisible
amazing.
value,
Yep.
and the game just tweaks it. They never talked about it before the game came out, or even really after. It was mentioned in a strategy guide.
Yeah,
And
if I ever hear
The
term-
remake,
if
the
I-
remake is like adaptive difficulty, just like the original. When you play worse, we help you.
If I never hear the
Trader
term
Lord, yep.
Spyroscope ever again,
Yeah.
I will be a happy man.
It was the Trader Lord. And
Yeah.
I remember we talked about the TV and sending it out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the gameplay. There's so much flow to Resi 4,
Mhm.
and I think just the
Because
remake.
it's like, why would you just sit there and get hit? Fucking parry.
Well, that's the 4 remake.
Yeah, they had the parry.
Well, no, you could still like take out your knife and hit those projectiles out of the sky in the original game.
Yeah, you can
That's
shoot
good.
them or hit them.
Like actually be involved
Yeah.
instead of just like, well,
One thing,
Oh, yeah,
I,
because
have
they
to
do make
heal.
parrying easy in the remake. All you do is just hit L1,
one thing I didn't
and
know.
you just can automatically parry things.
One thing I didn't know.
But it's
about
stupid
the-
when you start parrying the chainsaw. Sorry.
One thing I didn't know about the 4 remake is that I guess when they throw dynamite at you and you swipe at the dynamite, it cuts off like the part of the rope that was burning, so it doesn't go off.
yeah.
I mean, the fuse.
That is true in fucking Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. You can disarm grenades that way.
Well, yeah, because he has that really close cut thing where he like slows down. He's like, he smokes the other end of the.
But I think what like remake took away is just like that core gameplay. Is like now they want you to. You don't have to, I know, but they want you to find rats and lay gemstones on everything and calculate the best value for the appraiser. And the merchant never shuts up. And like I think they just took all the good parts and just like bloated them out.
I absolutely think that Resident Evil 4 remake is a worse game in every single way.
From
I
what
like
I've
it.
heard,
I do like that they added stealth.
From what I've heard,
but, like,
in the
I don't know.
basic
fake.
normal mode gameplay, remake is better. But when it comes to like higher difficulties, like professional, the original's better.
When it comes to assignment Ada or separate ways, the original is better.
There's just too much stuff going on, like in the remake, like too many
I
items
will
to pick
continue
up.
to play the original.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
They
want to play.
they give you the map with like everything on it. Like, oh, you missed this little treasure. You get all these inconsequential things that eventually add up to something good.
It's funny because the remake rated pretty high last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still good, but like,
You know,
Nothing
you know
like the
another
original.
game that is pretty high on my list for not game related reasons is Lost Odyssey.
just the
I really like
story
the
and the
story.
world and stuff.
Yeah.
The world is just very well done. I love Lost Odyssey.
And
Just
the
a good
music.
experience. Yeah, the
That game is
music.
like a good example of like modern music still holding up, but because Nobuo Uematsu made it. But like
Exactly.
it, while all their games were already starting to have boring music to them that like you're not supposed to notice.
Yeah.
Like Lost Odyssey really stuck out.
Lost Odyssey is amazing, and we have definitely got to play it at some point.
Mhm.
And then the other one that's very defining for me is Dishonored. I know that it was a weird experience in the original one when we played, but I fucking love that game, and it really gave me the whole stealth craving that I never knew I had.
Yeah.
So-
Richard said it was the Traitor Lord testing Tristan's patience.
You know. And then I talked about
Glad
how
they
the TV
switched
was
it
going out
up
the
after
window.
6. Being in the first person paid off.
I didn't know you. I didn't hear you read it out loud.
Yo, how is everyone?
No snacks this time. No snacks this time, dude.
You're a bit out of sync.
Let that sink in.
The sink's out there. I think we should wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the
That's
darkness.
basically
It's nighttime.
Yeah.
That's most of what defined me.
It's hard to, yeah, like, I had a hard time kind of putting it into words, but just listening to games is kind of like they explain themselves. Where you kind of compare other games to your favorites.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you won't like anything. You should still be open to other games, but like those will always kind of like have a place in your heart.
Tetris guy.
Number ones that can't be topped.
There was like a study that playing Tetris after traumatic things happen to you lessens their effect on your brain, and I think that's cool.
What?
Yeah,
Who were they traumatizing to get the
Tetris
results?
players.
They're
Cut off his
Call of
arm,
Duty
Now
players.
play Tetris.
How do you even send that out? Listen, if you're real fucked up.
No, they just
very
Go
they-
play
recently,
Tetris.
They just gathered people that finished playing Kill the Justice League and then let them play Tetris.
Killed the Tetris League.
Fucking Effectress.
Instead of Batman, she shoots the long piece.
Can I just talk about one last thing before we end? I miss.
Nope. Goodbye.
I miss a genre of types of games called the mini games that come with your system.
Yeah.
There was a game on like Xbox 360 or Xbox Original or something where it was just like colors everywhere, and I missed that game.
Perfect example, Mahjong Titans came with Windows Vista.
Yeah,
They had
or-
so many
or
games.
Uno.
Spider Solitaire.
Uno came with your Xbox.
Would you count that?
Uno with the
Face
groovy
Raider-
music.
Huh?
Face Raider.
Face Raiders from
It's-
3DS.
Yeah.
They had spike in difficulty at the end though. They make you do like 5 final bosses all in one go. I tried it. Like I took a picture of Ringo and Kramer and I did some
Such
Face Raiders kind of
Such
recently.
a concept that was kind of lost is all of those climb the tower games in the DS. You know, where you take a picture of yourself or you're the me goes through the tower.
Are you talking about
Oh,
Find Me?
Find Me.
Find me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find Me kind of got continued in that other game.
Find Me Too. Oh, Metopia.
Metopia.
Yeah.
Does it?
Sorta.
I've never heard of
It's
it.
not. It's not the same.
Yeah.
I really miss Street Pass. Like
Hmm.
when you bring it to school, you get home, you
Yeah.
see the line of people, you're like, I'm
Remember
gonna go.
Remember
into
when we went to
Find
the
Me.
Melee or the Smash 4 event and we got like a shit ton of them?
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
everyone brought their 3
I think it was over 100. I
Yeah.
think it was in the same number, and then I still didn't get anywhere in that fucking tower.
Do you remember how much back in the original DS, how much we liked PictoChat?
That was
we
so
used-
much fun.
We used to sit in 4 separate rooms and just PictoChat.
Yeah.
But then people kept writing dick.
Oh yeah,
pics and shit,
Damien would
and-
just draw dicks all the time. No one ever typed. Like we all just drew.
Yeah.
Like people would bring it on the bus.
It's more fun.
Yeah.
If you had a DSi, you can draw in rainbow, and it would play a different jingle when someone sent you like a DSi picture. I mean, I just
Yeah.
love the DSi in general
I
because
fucking
Flipnote Studio
loved
was like
that.
the killer app of that.
Yeah,
It was
Flipnote.
free download, and it had the whole service where you can
Was
just
that the
go and
animation
view.
thing?
Yeah, where you
The
can just view
Flipnote
other
was
people's
annoying,
like
though,
animations.
A little bit.
Yeah, I never really
There
like
were
making. It was
some
just
that were
finding it.
good.
Yeah.
No, Flipnote was fine, but I just mean
Like the stick
I was
figures
always
fighting.
annoyed with Flipnote.
Yeah.
Annoyed that it wasn't the same as
People still use Flipnote.
PictoChat.
It's discontinued, so I don't know how they like get it, but
But you know what I'm talking about, like
Yeah.
the animations.
Yeah.
I think you can
You can't
still
down-
draw, but you can't post. I
yeah, you
think.
can't post them. You
Yeah.
can't download the game anymore, and it's not on the 3DS. And they have Flipnote Studio 3D. It's a separate thing, but like the original, you would have had to download it on a DSi and still have it. and you can't really do anything.
I mean, the people that are super into it probably still have their DSi and probably
yeah,
still
and you
have
can
it. It's
post
probably-
make their own
yeah.
servers to get them back up, like with the Wii.
And you could probably like with the DSiWare games like Capistrel, you could probably just download it online.
Which
Download a ROM, yeah.
I fucking love those like normal people who will go out of their way to like revive Monster Hunter Tri servers and try
Yeah.
to get all the events back up.
Yeah, you
just
can play
for
Mario.
everyone.
You can play Mario Kart Wii again.
One of
online.
the first ones to do that was like Phantasy Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they
On the
just
Dreamcast,
made
yeah.
it again.
Well, the Dreamcast they
They
got
put
the
new
servers
servers.
back up, and there's still like last time I checked, like over 200 people in those servers.
At least.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's a
say,
lot for a dead game like that.
for a game that's like I don't want to say 20 years. It's got to be like
20.
20 years old.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's probably
Dreamcast.
more.
Dreamcast has been dead for over 20 years.
That's insane.
All right.
Yeah, we gotta
Let's
wrap
wrap
this up. It's getting too dark.
It's nice to know that time has passed. Like we show it in the stream.
It's just like Animal
anyone
Crossing.
tuning in at this point just sees us in the darkness and it's like, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck? Is
Animal
this?
Crossing.
But that's also what I think is the best reaction for our audience to us is what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. This is how some ordinary gamers. This is
This
the
is
lighting
aesthetic,
he
yeah.
uses. Yeah.
Sorry, the lost meeting took
With
the
just
whole time.
glowing anime girl in the back.
Yeah. Haruko is just fucking just glowing.
Yeah. She brightened up my life because I watched Fooly Cooly for the first time when I played Mario Kart 64 for the first time. It was truly a life-changing experience.
Chris, your words have lost meaning. Shut it down.
All right.
All right. Bye. You gotta end
Everybody
it on
losing
OBS
their
first.
meeting!